Hello, everybody. Good evening. For those of you who were with us last night, welcome back. For the people who are just finding out what all this hubbub is all about, welcome for the first time. Night 2 of the NEWBI Nexus Virtual Summit, and I am delighted to have you here. So I am Bob McLean. I am the founder, CEO, and head guy of the NEWBI Nexus. And once again, did we not have an outstanding night of speakers last night? I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, the amount of information, the amount of just the knowledge and the business acumen and wisdom was just amazing. And you know what? Our show tonight is every bit as good as the first one. So just a couple of little bit of housekeeping things here before we get going. One is the recording for yesterday is up on the newbinexus.com website. Check it out. Go to newbinexus.com. Look for the menu item for the summit replays, and it is there. Also, if you want to take a look at the bonuses that the speakers have come up with so far, that's outstanding. That's there too. What you're going to find is if you're not a member, you can see all the bonuses. If you are a member, there's going to be a button that shows up and you can take advantage of them all. And I highly recommend that you do exactly that. Now, one other thing that we discovered, we had an old out-of-date link in our billing link of all links, of course. It's all fixed. It's all tested. We are good. So those of you who tried to join yesterday, my apologies. Try now. It's going to work like a charm. And for all of you who tonight are going to join, because I know there's going to be lots of you, we are ready for you. Okay, so speaking of being ready for you, we've got our first speaker of the night standing by here, and we are starting with a bang with this guy, or maybe I should say we're starting with an aha. Yeah, okay. You're going to find out why that's kind of a groaner of a pun here in just a second. I'm about to introduce you to a guy named Mitchell Levy, and he is the aha guy. He's been around as an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. He's been around about 20 years, and he has come up with some. He's very deep in his knowledge of books and publishing, and more importantly, how to make money from those books. So I just know that when we're done here, all of you out there are also going to be saying, aha, because he's just that kind of guy. So everybody, say hello. I know you're saying it, even though it's on the internet. Say hello to Mitchell Levy. Mitchell, welcome to the show.
Bob, great to be here. Feel free to jump in, add value, list questions anytime you want. Everyone who's joining us, thank you so much for joining us. I'm happy to be able to be here and share. And what I'm going to talk about, let me, while I'm talking, I'll bring up my screen. We'll see if this works. I'll try to come back to do this every now and then. Let's see if I've got the right screen. Desktop 2. Let's share a screen. How's that look? You guys see my screen? Beautiful. Okay. So one of the things I thought I'd mention, if you take a look at there, you write a book in 8 hours. Okay. Ready, guys? 8 hours. And you're writing a book in 8 hours too. And I'll press the money button to actually make money. But here's the interesting part. You are not necessarily making money on book sales. You are making money on the speaking, the consulting, the product sales. You are establishing yourself as an expert by having written the book. So you might as well be able to write the book quickly. So let's talk about that. So the thing that I'm a big fan of is the aha moment. And, you know, if I'm in front of an audience, I want people to shout out aha. What I'd love you to do is in whatever vehicle you're watching this, just at least type in aha whenever you see one of these aha screens. And that would be great. And Bob, you want to kick in and say, oh my God, we got a ton of ahas. That'd be great.
You got it.
Perfect. What I want you to be thinking about is every time somebody changes your perspective, gives you an opportunity for you to think about the world in a different way, you could either say aha or just tell them they gave you an aha moment. Trust me, they will remember you for quite a while because people like to help and educate and train. And if they've actually done good, you should let them know. So let me give you the why. This is the Simon Sinek. Why should you care about this presentation? Why should you care about what we're doing here? The why is we've solved the author's dilemma. And the author's dilemma is twofold. First, how do you write a book quickly? And we've had 300 authors write their books in 8 hours or less. And then second, once you've written your book, is that a sigh? Should we get a sigh or gasp from that there, Bob, and others? Like, so
Yeah,
second,
I'm a gasper myself, but that's
okay.
me.
So once you've written your book, then how do you make sure people get to know about it? Well, our books are social media enabled ebooks. So every content, every quote, every aha message is immediately shareable on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. So you have the opportunity to create the physical books if you want, but you can now quickly create an aha book. And that's the thing that's interesting is if you could do something in 8 hours, you now are using it for what books are good for, and that is to drive your ability to be recognized as the expert so that you can close business. So here's the agenda that we'll cover about today. I want to talk about, if you don't mind, we'll do a quick 5 minutes on what is a book. We'll talk about what is a social media enabled ebooks. You can see we'll talk about how do you write a book in 8 hours. If you just don't get it now, you will before that section is done. We'll talk about promoting and promoting strategies, and I'll give you some closing thoughts. So what is a book? If you take a look at the Wikipedia definition of books, I'm not going to read this for you, but we all know what a book is, whether it's, 100 pages or 500 pages. It's a bunch of words on parchment, okay? So what is an ebook? Well, an ebook is the electronic representation of the book. That said, ebooks do not ever have had to been physical books. And we see a lot of that, and I want to actually point that out to you pretty quickly. So it started with the Gutenberg press. Yeah, with the Bible, with the Gutenberg press, all of a sudden, books were something that established credibility. It was very powerful, and it was a way in which we can now communicate. And the author of the book was looked at as the expert, the thought leader, the expert in the space. Now, when we write books, we all have in the back of our mind, regardless of the book we write, we have in the back of our mind that our book is going to have a pretty cover, a pretty spine like you see here, and end up in a gorgeous library. Or are you ready to?
My library, I think. How did you get that picture?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Now, if you think the previous library is great, this is my most favorite library I've ever seen in my life. This is for me the Library of Congress. This is the Chateau Chantilly in France, and it's just a gorgeous place. Now, that said, most books, the 99.9999% of books will not end up here. And one of the things I thought I mentioned, we've published 800 titles, and we've published this book. This is 100,000 words. It's 350 pages. It took the authors 3 years to write, and so this is their tomb. What I'd like to do, though, is have you think about what Marketo and other marketing firms have done to the word book and what they've done to ebooks. So if you go to the Marketo website and you take a look at their page, they have 100+ books, which represent, are you ready? 20-page PowerPoint presentations. Now, I have to tell you, they're using it as lead candy at top of funnel. To get these books, you have to type in your email address. And you know what? The world is accepting it. So I have to say, an ebook can be as little as a 20-page PowerPoint. So, please type them in, out, whatever is appropriate. Life is different. Now, one of my authors, guy by the name of Jeffrey Shabbat's, I've got two books back and forth. The book on the left, not the left-hand side, but the two books back to the size doesn't matter. That's a 40,000 word book. Took him 8 months to write after he sold his business. And what we did is we ghost wrote an aha book, and that's sort of the one on the right, where it's 3,000 words versus 40,000 words. Jeff has told me privately, he goes, Mitchell, I really like my aha book better. So I'm kind of curious. I had a bite. I said, Jeff, tell me why. He goes, well, I had all my friends in my family buy both copies, and they were Amazon bestsellers. So I had both friends and family buy both copies, but I know they actually read my aha book. And that's one of the things authors want. They want their audience to read the book. Now, the thing that's interesting, you don't need to read the entire book. You just have to read enough to be, or the consumer, the person who gets it has to read enough to look at you as the expert. So what is the value of the book? A book is the ultimate marketing vehicle for the brand you, the ultimate marketing vehicle. I've got a great quote from Marshall Goldsmith. He is the #1 CEO coach in the world. My first book took me out of the role of trainer and into the role of thought leader. Since the past, Jay Conrad Levinson, love Jay. Guerrilla Marketing has sold over 24 million copies in 57 different languages. I wrote it in response to a need, and if there is a need, then a book will work. So the aha.
Aha.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Appreciate that. So here's, to me, the true value of a book, and that is the person who consumes it, what do they remember 6 months later? If it took them a month to read because it's 100,000 words, or it took them 10 minutes to read because it's 3,000 words, if they still remember 1, 2, or 3 points later, the value of the book is the fact that they remembered a key element. So hopefully I got you thinking a little bit different about what a book is. Let's talk about a social media enabled ebook. One of my friends gave me this quote, and I asked him if I could have permission for it. His responsibility is to help the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company be recognized thought leaders. And one of the C-suite members went to him and said, Richard, why do I need to worry about social media? Particularly, why should I tweet? Why should I do anything on LinkedIn or Facebook? And this was Richard's response. And if you look at that, it is absolutely beautiful. So his response to a C-suite exec of a multi-billion-dollar company is, if you don't use 21st century technology, how can I trust you to run a 21st century company? Something to think about, guys. So what's a social media enabled ebook? Imagine having content that's immediately actionable by your fan base. Imagine 7-second sound bites. Imagine having 140 7-second sound bites, any one of which can capture the attention of your audience. So first thing I do is let me show you 3 types of ebooks. We've got the PDF. We all know what that is. An EPUB. Typically, EPUB books are what's used to load on Kindle, and the AHA book, and I'll show you what that is. The AHA book, a new form of ebook where every particular quote is immediately shareable on social media. The platform we have is called AHA That, and it's all about sharing, authoring, and promoting you. So right now, if you're looking for share on social media, there are over 37,000 quotes that you have access to today for free to share on social. And while you're doing that, giving quotes to people who are there. So Jim Feldman, who's speaking tomorrow, you could share his quotes, and he has great quotes in the platform that you could share. That will be exciting. And if you want to author, you could do it in 8 hours. I'll tell you about that. We have some great, we're not going to go through the list here, but some really good authors. I call them AHA leaders, who you will join their family. And I thought I'd do is, and I'm going to run through this list very fast. I just thought I'd share a handful of categories of books. So we have books on leadership. We have books, small business entrepreneurship, sales and marketing, social media, social selling, and some of the names here, if you're looking real quick, these are some of the greats, the top thought leaders in the industry today. You could be joining them. A career and job search, self-help and consumer, finance and accounting. The other thing we did, look at that, you'd be joining a library with Albert Einstein, Napoleon Hill. What we did is we took books which are in the public domain, we created them into AHA books, 140 bite-sized quotes, and now you could be sharing content from The Art of War or The Wealth of Nations. Very powerful stuff. Now, if you want something really fun, if you're a self-help coach, take a look at, we have The Wizard of Oz. The AHA book from The Wizard of Oz has such phenomenal quotes that are sort of self-help in nature. You should absolutely take a look at that and start using them in your presentations. The other thing we did, which is fun, if you go to ahathat.com/phrases, you'll see we have over 30 phrase books where we took a book. For instance, we took the word thank you, and we put it into 140 languages. We have a ton of other books. And Bob, I think we're working on an AHA book, a phrase book for you as well. So I don't know if we got back to you yet, but it was your quintessential phrase. You remember what it is?
Well, I'm Canadian, so I think it's just A.
It'd be pretty easy to put in 140 quotes. Okay, so we'll surprise everybody. But during the conversation, you said, Mitchell, I'm known for, and so we're going to make that into an AHA book. One of the things that's fascinating with the phrase books, it started for me with You Are Awesome. If you put aha.pub/You Are Awesome into any social media, what will happen is the cover will pop up and this will pop up. Same thing with thank you or happy birthday. So I want you go to the phrase page and start using this content as another way to be sharing with other people what you're thinking, what you're feeling. If you look at the Aha That bookstore, and so it's ahathat.com, and once you sign in, it looks like any other bookstore. It looks like this. And when you click on a particular book, it'll come to a page that looks like this. And what you should be thinking about is this is 3 pages of an Aha book. So 3 quotes, and it's page 25, 26, 27 of an Aha book. And what's fascinating is on any one of those pages, you now can click on the G on the right is for Gaggle Amp, a corporate tool, Google+, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. So you have access to 38,000 quotes that you could be sharing in seconds. You basically click on any of those buttons and you're immediately sharing that quote. What's fascinating about you as the author, or if you're sharing somebody else's quote, is you notice this quote has at Liz K. Miller. This is Liz Miller, who is the CMO of the CMO Council. 8,500 chief marketing officers across the world are part of that. And what's interesting is you're giving Liz attribution for this quote that you're sharing with your audience. Everyone wins. So the aha, once again, type it in, say it out loud.
Aha.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one page equals one tweet.
Essentially, yes. And what I'll do at some point in time, I'll actually show you the physical book. And so I'll get off the screen and I'll show you what I've got. And you can see what it looks like in a physical book format. But in essence, Bob, we live in a 7-second soundbite economy. So what are you going to create in 7 seconds that captures somebody's attention? And that could be as simple as a tweet. The real benefit to add to that is that tweet can include a URL. And that URL can point to SlideShare, YouTube, top of funnel content. So it could be what points to your lead candy that you're sending out there to be able to capture people's email addresses. In essence, you can pull together any of your other social media content or traditional world content and put it as part of this. I love this quote from Judy Baker. She's a book marketing mentor. With Aha Books, you have the speed to market and reach of social media, combined with the credibility of a book without the pain of making it perfect. Another way to say that is if you think of an Aha book as book number 2, it's always easier to do something a second time. It is book number 2, and you'll be pretty happy because it'll be much easier to do. All right, so that was it. That was what a social media enabled ebook is. Let's talk about how to write it in 8 hours. First, this is a fun question for me. So just imagine for a second, you're snapping your fingers. I love the snapping your fingers, the kinesthetic feel of that. You snap your fingers, you write a book. Well, what do you write it on? And I'd like you to think about this. What answer would you give to this? And feel free to type it in the chat. I'll tell you what I typically hear. If I'm sitting in front of a room of 50 to 60 consultants and I ask the question, if you could write your book in 8 hours, what do you write it on? The answers come in one of these 3 categories. Do you write your book on what you're an expert in today? Do you write your book on what you get paid to do today? Or do you write your book on what you get paid to do tomorrow? So I'll give you a couple seconds to think through what would be relevant for you.
I know what I would do, but I'm waiting to hear what you're saying so I can say, yeah, that's what it was.
Good. Because, you don't want me to say it's the wrong thing, right?
Exactly.
Typically, 80% of the room will raise answer number 1. Yeah, you write a book on what you're an expert in today. 15% will raise their hand on number 2, what they get paid to do today. And to me, and by the way, Nirvana, all 3 are the same. So if you get to the point where you're an expert in something, you get paid to do it today, you get paid to do it tomorrow, that's Nirvana. If you could write a book in 8 hours, you write a book on what you want to get paid to do tomorrow. Right? Simple.
Yep.
Is that what you're thinking?
That actually was what I was thinking. So I'm good. I'm glad.
Awesome. Good. Well, think about this. If you want to get paid to do something tomorrow, you get paid when you're the expert. If you could write a book that shows you're the expert in the space, then you could get paid to do that tomorrow. Maybe it is what you are an expert in today and get paid to do today. Maybe it is all of that. But the thing is, you may not be an expert in a particular vertical. Well, you can take your content and move it to a particular vertical, and then you have a book that solves a problem for a specific vertical. So how do you make this happen? We have an 8-step process. It's a very simple 8-step process. And here's step number 1. And this is an eye chart, so it's really more for a goal for me. And the goal is, in this step number 1, it's a Word document. That Word document has 4 questions in it. And question number 1 is the most important question. Who is your audience and how will they benefit from the book? Or a better way to think about it, who customer and how will they benefit from your product or your service? If you can put that down on paper, then what happens is that's the quintessential element. That's what's going to help you when you're thinking about that, your audience and how you solve their problem. That's going to help you write the book that demonstrates that you're the expert in that space. Does that make sense? That's pretty straightforward, right, Bob?
That is pretty straightforward. And so the idea is, if you're making multiple books, then you're finding, do they all hit exactly the same target? Is that how that works?
Well, that's the interesting part. That's a good question. You know, when you could do a book in 8 hours, we're not just talking about you writing a book, right? We're talking about, you should be thinking about the half dozen books or the dozen books. And what you should be thinking about is, what is every target market you're going after, right? So what you may think about today is, who's the customers that you either have today or want to have tomorrow? What is the key problem they have? Write a book that solves that problem for that specific vertical, and then start saying, hey, I have a book in this area. Does this help you? Or is this interest to you? Or can I speak to your group about that? Guess what? You've written a book that solves a problem in that vertical market. Now, you can now take the same book, make some small changes to it, and move it to another vertical market. Now you can take that same content and move it across many vertical markets. And it's only taking you 8 hours to work. You're not writing a book that boils the ocean. You're writing a book that solves a problem that your customer wants to hire you for to help solve. Now, content-wise, people often wonder, where do you get your content from? Well, take a look at this. Anywhere possible. That's the cool part. You know, if you got presentations, you grab it from there, Twitter streams, blogs, YouTube. What I'll mention to you is that 2 hours of recorded content is enough to actually create an aha book. And actually, it's a new service I'll tell you about at the end. It's a new service where I can actually interview you for 2 hours and ghostwrite the aha book for you. White papers, books, webinars, collateral. So all of this content. So imagine if you're doing coaching for or consulting with a company, you can crowdsource content from the employees of the company, pull together an aha book that you could turn into a physical book, and think about how you're delivering transformation and how you're getting employee engagement inside that company. It's very, very powerful. So one of the things I do, let me turn off stop screen share for a second. One of the things I thought I'd mention is the crowdsourcing exercise. If you're in front of a group of people, we have these now. And this is kind of cool. It's a notepad, and you put in your name, Twitter handle, attribution. This is where you would write your aha message. I've done this twice as exercises last month, where we actually had the audience just fill in the information. And this line down here basically says, I give permission to share that content, right? And so this is a phenomenal way to crowdsource content. If you're interested in doing something like that and want to pick up a series of pads like this to share, feel free to reach out. It's a very powerful way to do it. And since I've got the screen done, what I'll do is let me share a couple of the books, because we could take the books and turn them into physical books. So the cool part is having a book like this. You could take a look at this book at the AHA That platform, aha.pub/aha, and this will bring you specifically to this book. And now, how much value does this content, without even opening up, how much value? What happened is I actually interviewed 4 of our authors. So 80% of the content here is from other people. We print color on the inside. So every page has 1 or 2 aha messages. To answer your question, Bob, that every page has an aha message or so. We print color on the inside. You have the ability to add more content there if you like. Typically we do a call to action at the beginning of the book as a call to action. So now you have the opportunity, if you do in physical books, to be able to create books with aha moments, to be able to create books that will generate aha moments in your audience. All right.
Mitchell, we got a question here, and it's about writing to your passions. How much should you be looking at your passions when you write a book?
Well, let's see. Let me go grab this book. If you're writing this book, okay, the 100,000 word book, and the book is something which is let's say a fiction book or something else, you should write absolutely what you're excited about. In the nonfiction world, and if you're using books, so anyone who's in business today, if you are desiring to get paid to be an expert in a particular space tomorrow, isn't that by definition, if you want to get paid to do something tomorrow, isn't that by definition what you're passionate about? So if you get passionate about something and you're interested in making money doing it, well, write a book in that area, whether you write it yourself or crowdsource it from others. So the answer is yes, but I want to give the equivocal yes, that you really should focus on the passion of solving a problem for the customer who's going to pay you.
Okay, so not your passion, but theirs.
Well, isn't that the cool part? And if the two are the same, if you have a passion that nobody else in the world has, it may be harder to get paid to do that. On the other hand, if the passion is yours is solving the problems that your clients have or to-be clients have, that's a win-win. You're writing and creating an asset that's used to help you close more business. So I sort of showed this before, but let me, as I show in the physical books, so you can take the AHA book, and this is what it looks like here. We could turn it into a PDF as top of funnel lead gen. We'll turn it into a Kindle version, the EPUB, which is for Kindle, as well as the paperback and hardcover version. So we're still talking 8 hours now to write a book on an area that you're passionate about that you'll get paid to do tomorrow. Do I get it? Awesome. So here's an example. Mark Dieterding, he wrote his book on a Saturday. What he was interested in doing is, in between publishing with more traditional publishers, he actually wrote his book so that he would have an asset to be able to share with his client base. When he sent an email out to his client base on the fact that he had written the book, he sold 100+ copies. He also now incorporates it into the things that he does. So he now incorporates it into, if he's giving a class, people get the book for free. When he sees people in person, the people give the book for free. So he's not, although we're writing royalty checks for him, he's not looking at the royalty that comes from book sales. He's looking at the speaking, consulting, classroom fees from incorporating his content within what he's doing. Here's a person who actually didn't write their, we never turned their books into PDF, Kindle, or paperback, Kevin Kreitman. I love using this example because Kevin's a girl. She's got a PhD in organizational development. She actually wrote her book on a Saturday. Because we knew it was coming, we published it on Sunday. 10 days later, she picked up a 5-figure consulting engagement. Right? So the interesting part is she established herself, well, she was and is an expert, with a PhD and having done organizational development. She wrote a book, then blasted out to her mailing list, and it reminded people that she was out there to solve a problem. She picked up an engagement. So that's kind of what these things do. It's to help you be the expert, the recognized expert in the space that you're in. Bob, you had a question on that?
Well, it wasn't really so much of a question. I was going to say that's not really an aha. That's more of a wow.
Well, 3 letters. How's that? That works okay. Yeah, I think the interesting part for anyone out here, if you've been contemplating writing a book for years, and you've been spending hundreds of hours writing your existing book, just stop for a second. Spend a Saturday, write your AHA book, get it out there, call it book number 2, whatever you want to call it, start using it to close business. And at some point in time, you may come back to your more traditional book. In between, your putting yourself out there as an expert that solves a problem, and you've got a book that is showing that you're the expert that can do it. All right, let's talk about promoting books. I often get people say this: "Oh, I don't need to market my book. My publisher will, and the content is so good, news will spread like wildfire." And hopefully people saying, "Oh my God." The interesting part is, no matter what ideas you have, no matter what you're saying or doing, your book doesn't sell without you going out and selling it. It just doesn't. There's so much out there today. And so you've got to market yourself. You've got to make stuff happen. You've got to let people know about things that are going on. It's not going to sell itself. So of the 800 books we published, there are a couple whose authors, I don't think they even told their family, or maybe they told their family but nobody else. So and the books don't sell. On the other hand, the authors that are doing well, they're just part of what they do. It's part of their social media. It's part of their email footers. It's part of their, when they're engaging other people, they give away copies of books. And guess what? The more you give away, the more you get in return. In today's world, you need to create your brand. You need to create your own success. You need to figure out your market. You need to go after it, and you need to make it happen. So if you go to the on the ahathat.com/author, we have the 8-step process. Now, by the way, even though we have the 8-step process, steps 9 to 100 is how to market yourself. Because what people used to say to me, "Mitchell, I've written my book, now I'm done." And let me say that writing your book is 10% of your success. The other 90% is actually making the world know about it and getting it out there. So what do you do as a newly minted author? You put the URL. If I hadn't mentioned it, every AHA book, you get a customized URL. So you put the name of the book, you put the URL everywhere. Business cards, websites, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, social media, any underwear, if you're an underwear model, wherever is humanly possible, you put the URL to your book. You want to speak to groups on the topic of your book. Now, one of the things that's fascinating is sometimes the journey can be more important than the destination. And so if you crowdsource books among your potential prospects, guess what? They're getting to know you. A lot of times the interviewing, the content for the book will open up more doors than potentially the book itself does. The other thing you can do, you're part of a larger group, offer to crowdsource the content for the book. Offer to pull together content from the group itself. Guess who's looked at it as the expert? The person who's crowdsourced the content. As a newly minted author, you want to share your URLs everywhere. You want to share your physical books. You want to send physical copies. As a matter of fact, the author that's done the most success in terms of her book is she had ordered 600 copies. She had 300 USPS and FedEx envelopes pre-labeled. She had personal notes inside each of these envelopes. When the books came, she stuck 300 books in the envelopes, sent them out. She started following through a couple of weeks later. Other potential clients came in to talk to her. She closed business. She ended up increasing her revenue by 6 times. She went from like a 40% utilization rate to like a 90% utilization rate. Absolutely amazing. I want to share this quote from one of our authors, Lori Ruff, and that is, authentically share who you are at your core to inspire those around you. What you want to be doing is sharing this content with other people, and this is the URL that gets to Lori's book. So, another aha. Aha. Okay, let me give you some closing thoughts. I think in the future, you can't claim to be an aha leader out having one or more books in your name. If you can do it in 8 hours or less, you might as well take advantage of doing it along this platform. What I often hear from people is, "Oh, I already have an existing book. Why would I need an AHA book?" Well, if you already have an existing book, you write an AHA book to be the social marketing content of your existing book. Because remember, any one of those quotes can include a URL that points to YouTube, your site itself, your funnel that's going to grab people in the door. And so if you write a book, a more traditional book, that's great. Make sure you do an AHA book alongside with it. All right, the end result of your book is prospect awareness. So one of the things I sort of alluded to it before, sometimes you can be writing good, compelling content. And as you're crowdsourcing content from your folks, they actually become clients of yours. So what's the quickest path to your book? Make the time, hire help, put aside 8 hours to write your book. Or if you want, you can let us do it for you. Let me give you the offers at the end. So this is the shopping cart page. If you go to aha.pub/newbie-DIY, do it yourself, this is what pops up. And what I want to do is give you a coupon code. So aha.pub/newbie-DIY. And if you use the coupon code DYA100, you'll get $100 off the price. So if you're interested in an AHA book, a PDF, and Kindle, so you could be a recognized author on Amazon as a Kindle author, put in DYA100 and get $100 off. Now, I thought I'd mention this, and this is new, Bob, since you and I talked, and that is we can also ghostwrite the book for you. So if you're interested in us ghostwriting it for you, what happens is set up the appointment. It's $997. With the coupon, you get $100 off. So it's aha.pub/newbie-DIFY. And we'll do a 2-hour interview with you. And based on that, we will ghostwrite your AHA book. So 2 hours worth of interviewing, we'll create the AHA book for you, $997, $897 with the coupon code taken off. And so I highly recommend, if you just don't think you could find the time, you just don't have the right focus, we will make sure that you have the focus. We'll make sure you can make that happen.
Yeah, and folks, all of these links, all of the stuff that Mitchell's talking about here, it is on the inside of the NEWBI Nexus. So we've got it all for you. Yeah, another big aha there.
There you go.
You know,
awesome.
We want to make sure that you have it. So go on into the Nexus. It is there waiting for you.
All right. So, I'm sure we have time for a couple questions. I'll leave this up for a minute or two and then ask the first question, Bob, and then I'll turn it over to me so you can see my face respond.
Well, one of the questions that we have here for you is people are asking, how long should one of these books be? Now, you kind of covered that one, but can we get another answer there? Definitive.
Oh, sure. The way we've structured it, I mentioned the step 1 of the 8-step process. Step 2 I'll mention is I've written 50,000 AHA messages. So step 2 is a single-page PDF on best practices. Even if you decide not to write an AHA book, go to step 2, download that. It'll be helpful in terms of the social media work that you do. Step 3 is where I'm going to answer your question, Bob. An AHA book is comprised of 140 bite-sized quotes. So it's about 3,000 words. It's 140 quotes. And so that's where you have now 140 opportunities, 147-second sound bites to be able to capture somebody's attention. It turns out to be about 3,000 words when you're done. What you do is step 3 is the actual spreadsheet that you put your content in, and it will keep track of your character count. And what we do on any of our books, we'll create the covers for you. We'll do a copy edit, and we'll do a content edit. And so we'll make sure that you are delivering to market the value that you as the author, as the expert, as the thought leader need to.
Okay. And we had a question here. You were talking about creating, multiple books. Think about 4 books, 6 books, something in that range here. How many have you written?
Yeah, so I'm now at 57. It's really interesting because it's because we end up having our footprint on so many different locations. There are some social media sites and locations that are not caught up to speed with the 57. One of the things I've done, I have a Pinterest page, so it's pinterest.com/thinkaha, and on there, one of the things I do is I actually have the covers of all my books. So that is when somebody says, "How many books have you done?" That's where I go first. Because, when you get to 57, it's hard to remember. 26 of those books came from doing interviews, which were 2-hour interviews of talking to experts and helping put books together. And so it really is. We've tested it. It works. It is very easy for you to spend energy interviewing, communicating this sort of conversation with others. If you took just 2 or 3 of our speakers from the virtual summit, you'd have an AHA book, Bob.
Okay, that is very cool. And now you wrote a whole bunch of books that were, or you and your team wrote books on, as you said, like from Wizard of Oz, and you sent me the one with the 140 different ways of saying you are awesome. That was pretty cool. That was awesome. I should have sent one of them back to say that's awesome. Um, is that those are great fodder for people who speak or write or any of that kind of stuff. Does it make sense to create books like that for ourselves, or is that just kind of just nice reference material?
Oh, that's an interesting question, right? It's this is the book. We took this phrase, the thank you book, and we put it into 140 languages. And this is the one that we actually have in physical form. So on the inside, it's thank you in a number of different languages. What you can imagine happening with this book is you can imagine replacing this logo with the company logo. You can imagine replacing the call to action with your call to action. So if you're the type of professional that doesn't feel like you can create the thought leadership because you have regulatory controls, you can create a thank you book, or you can create a book on any phrase that's appropriate, or you could take a book like some of the books that we have in the public domain and be able to use that content. And we'll do a custom print run for you where we'll put your logo up here. We'll put a letter from you on the inside. And now you've got thought leadership that'll sit on somebody's desk. And most of the work has been done by somebody else. I have to tell you, you still are appreciated by the person who receives this content as the person who is the expert in the space, because you've given them a book of thank you, and you've given them a thank you in a way they've never had before. So if there's a phrase you've known by, you can create a phrase book. If you take a look at our public domain books and you just, Sun Tzu in The Art of War is something that just kills you, or Adam Smith in The Wealth of Nations, you believe in that concept, there's no reason we can't do a custom print run of that book for you. And then that becomes the marketing content that you use to help drive success.
That's okay. I like that. And I have one last question before we wrap things up here. A question came in, and you're talking about going to YouTube, going to the internet, crowdsourcing, this kind of stuff. How far can you go before it's, well, okay, I'll just put the P word out there. It's plagiarism. How far can you go?
Well, if you're writing a book to establish yourself as the expert, you want a lot of the quotes and content to be yours. That said, if you want to add incremental value to your content, you could do, if you're at an event, you're at a speaking event, and you're with a bunch of peers who are also potentially well-known, you could use a form like this where people could share their content, and now you're including inside your book other people's compelling content. If you're grabbing content that's in the public domain, then you just need to, for us as a publisher, you need to show us that it's in the public domain. If it's not in the public domain and you can't show that you have permission to use it, as a publisher, we just won't let you publish it. So going too far is when you are sharing other people's content that you don't have permission to share, right? That's going too far. Anytime you can share somebody else's content who has the same opinions as you do, and those names are more well known. So if I can give you a Guy Kawasaki quote, or an Adam Smith quote, or or whoever your thought leader du jour is, I can share with you their quotes, and all of a sudden you think of me as a different person. It's okay to do that from the stage. If you're going to do that in a physical book, you just have to make sure the content's in the public domain one place or another.
All right. Got it. All right. Well, we have pretty much run out of time here, I'm afraid, because we've talked in the past, and I just love your message, and I'm loving it again, listening to it now. But we have got some other outstanding people, and they're all going to want some time too. So I'm going to have to give it to them. But Mitchell, thank you so much. This has really been fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, all the links, all the stuff, all the deals, the discount codes, we got them all within the NEWBI Nexus. You just need to join, and it's for $10 a month. Come on, Come on. And a free month at the beginning? Yeah, you need to be part of this. You need to have people like Mitchell Levy in your life on a daily basis. So come on out, join, get your free month, find Mitchell, find all of the other great people there as well. So Mitchell, once again, thank you so much for being part of our virtual summit.
Absolutely my pleasure. And I'll just remind everyone, if you have heard my voice, you need, and you're in business today and want to be successful, you need one or more books that represent you as the expert in your space. And it's too easy to do with AHA that. Look forward to seeing you online. Look forward to helping you. Look forward to interacting with you. Take care, everybody. Bye now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, folks, got another really interesting speaker here coming up in just a moment. We're going to show a short video, and I'll tell you this, you'd never know this next lady was 100 years old. So I'll just leave it like that. Watch the video, and we'll be back with Wendy when we come back.
Well, that was bad. Wendy's going to kill you. So she can?
Okay.
Mark Wendt was a leading reporter for the Weekly Asteroid. He won numerous awards for his investigative reporting. His peers were always amazed that he could be first on scene at any disaster. Mark decided to leave the Weekly Asteroid and open his own newspaper, The Trumpet.
Okay, Lois, you got the crush on story at the chocolate factory.
I do. I'm going to be there for 2 o'clock.
Okay, no, you can do it. I'm coming with you anyway. Ginny, you got the pictures from the Showbiz Festival?
I do. I just have to get them edited, be done by 3.
Okay, now I'm going to come down and work with you. We'll get it done by 2:30.
Wait a minute, Mark. You're supposed to be with me at 2 o'clock. How are you supposed to be back for 2:30? And the night editor's been calling and wants those 3 stories.
Tell Larry we'll have all 3 stories done for 3 o'clock.
How are you going to get that done when you're in the editing with me at 2:30?
Mark is obviously suffering from superhero syndrome. He hired competent people, but he wanted to do everything himself. He was grinding his business to a halt. Here's how you can stop that. First, chances are, like Mark, you're the bottleneck in your business. Get out of your own way. Second, hire good people and let them do their jobs. Third, create a team of people who like to do the things, the tasks that you don't like to do, and let them do those tasks. And finally, create a system so the business runs without you. Then you can work on the tasks that you love, or you can work on growing your business.
Is she on staff?
I see superhero syndrome every day. It's called micromanaging.
So the whole idea of delegating is that it's an investment up front. Yeah, it's hard, it's difficult. You have to make the investment to teach your team how to run your business, because you want to work on your business, not in your business.
And everybody, hope you enjoyed that. And as I said, we've got another really great speaker. And no, she's not 100. I'm teasing her because of what she is an expert in, and that is youthful aging. Now, just before I introduce Wendy, I just want to make just like Wendy is a youthful aging expert. She's a speaker. She's an author. She leads workshops and all sorts of special things like that. And just as I was reading about, I've actually got her book. Okay, I own it. It's Powerful Habits to Grow Younger Every Day, and it's this is a thought that occurred to me, is that I think every last person that's on the summit, including me, is an author. So the question is, and this is what occurred to me, maybe this is my own aha moment, are they speakers who have written a book, or has the book elevated them to be the expert? Well, you got to think about that one, right?
Ah, chicken and egg.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, we're now starting to hear from the lady herself. So I'm going to introduce her, bring her up on the virtual stage here of this summit. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Ms. Wendy Vineyard. Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bob. It's a pleasure to be here. And you're right, I'm not 100.
I was just trying to get people to go, wow, she doesn't look at it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, yeah, you know what? That whole concept that even from the first time that you and I talked, is this youthful aging. It almost sounds like an oxymoron. Like you can't do that. How do you age youthfully?
Well, the thing is that we're all going to get older. We're all going to, go off to our great reward in the sky, hopefully. So the idea is that you want to live well while you're here. So you want to take good care of yourself, keep yourself motivated, happy. So you want to be here. So you're going to take the action that it takes to keep your body healthy. Because when you have a lot of pain, emotional or physical, in your body and your mind, you're not going to be a very happy camper. You're going to be putting a lot of energy into that pain, and when you finally get rid of it, you have all that extra energy to apply to your business, to apply to your life, apply to the things that you really want to do while you're still here.
Okay, so can you say that pain equals aging?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And pain of the emotional and of the physical. I like to say, well, the research that I did for my book showed that stress was the #1 cause of aging. In fact, interestingly enough, even the very conservative U.S. Centers for Disease Control says that up to 90% of all illnesses are stress related. So if you can get a handle on that stress, imagine the quality of life, the length of life that you could be getting for yourself.
Yeah, well, that's true. I just personally here, I can vouch for the fact that I think this virtual summit has probably taken 5 years off my life right here. So
yes.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you talk about here is like no miracle drugs and no trendy diets and surgery and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there going, well, if I can't do any of those things, how do I do it?
Well, it's the book that I've written is something that you can use to help yourself in the areas where you need the most help. Now, you can't work on everything all at once, and the whole idea is to find something that you can turn into a habit that will get you towards your youthful aging goal. Like, meaning you want to feel vibrant, you want to feel rested and excited about your day. And it really is about figuring out what you need to work on most and put your energy into that for at least a month or two until you get some good habits going that are going to lead you to where you want to go easier and quicker than if you were just trying to rely on willpower alone. And we all know willpower does not work. So if you find that you don't handle anxiety or stress or overwhelm very well, that's me. I don't handle that very well, or at least I didn't until I paid attention and I got myself some techniques that actually work, that have now become my go-to, that I use religiously. So learning anything new, you always have to start as a beginner. You can learn anything you want as long as you start as a beginner. What you really need to do is to decide that you're not going to do things as easily as you think in the beginning, but with practice and a commitment to using what you know, the new tools, then you will have something to use when you're actually in the situation of being stressed, overwhelmed, or anxious. So Stress is a really big one. I would suggest everybody start with that. And sometimes it's just as simple as some breathing techniques, daily meditation, 10 minutes. I do workshops to show people how you can get those stress-reducing techniques into your life, and they're fun. They're interesting. It can be anything. It can be coloring, for goodness sake. Sometimes some of us have started doing that. One technique that I really love is emotional freedom techniques. We don't have time to go into exactly how to use all those now, but they're in the book. And this is the beauty of it. You can use that book to be your own coach. You can ask more questions and figure out what you do need to get to where you want to go. Do you need someone to hold your hand, to be with you, to help you work on a few areas in your life where you can't seem to handle it yourself? Please ask for help. That's what all the coaches out there are for. It's why I wrote the book. It's why I'm a coach and a workshop leader. We really do want to help people who really truly want to change and are ready for it and want to have a great and exciting and fun and interesting and long and healthy life.
Yes, we do. We all want that. And okay, so now you mentioned a whole bunch of different techniques there for eliminating stress, or at least minimizing it, even in the tough times. Is there a one size fits all, or is it very personalized, or how do you get started, basically?
Well, I think people are really interested in what they can do. It's very simple, easy, doesn't cost a lot. You can do it anywhere. Well, I particularly, number one, love measured breathing techniques. Just as a quick tip, but when you breathe longer on the exhale, you're signaling your brain, your body to relax, let go, it's okay. And certainly breathing would be a one size fits all. The emotional freedom techniques, it's a very simple, easy technique to use. You can use it as a self-help technique, and you can also use it with a practitioner to go on deeper on issues that may be more challenging for you to stick with, because some scary things happen to people and they need a way to process them. This is again the reason why I do the work that I do, is because I love how effective these techniques are. And it's not just about managing stress. I had a client come to me last week, said, I'd like to learn how to manage my anxiety better, just to contain it. And I'm like thinking, man, you don't have to all the time just manage something. You can actually neutralize it so it never bothers you again. And that's what kept me going on my journey. I wanted to find the root cause. I wanted to deal with it. And people who are ready to do that, it can be done.
That is outstanding. That's really, really great stuff. And boy, oh boy, the passion I can see it. I can hear it in your voice. That's really fantastic. Now, Wendy, I know you are one of our expert mentors. We've got your stuff in the NEWBI Nexus website. And by the way, folks, join now.
Yes, please do.
Yes, please do. So get out there. You've got links. There's links on the page. There's links that keep coming up. Go join. Wendy's in there. Her very, very good advice on youthful aging is all in there.
There's the book. There's the book.
There it is. And yep, there it is. There we go.
They've got it all. I even annotate my own books. I even put flags on my own book.
So if I get a book, it's got all those little thingies on the side of it? No? Okay.
You can make those yourself.
Okay.
Really speak to you, Bob.
Okay, good. All right. Now, we are short on time here, but I know you'd asked if you could do one more thing, and absolutely you can. So, Wendy, go.
All right. Well, what I would really love to do for some action takers on the call tonight, in the next 24 hours, if you would love to have a 1-hour session with me, I have made time available in my appointment book over the next couple of weeks to provide 6 free sessions to the first 6 people who send me their name, their phone number, and their Skype address and their email to wendy@wendyvineyard.com. I would be happy to take the first 6 people. We will have a session. We will talk about how you can take the right steps to help you to look and feel 10 years younger. And for those 6 people, I'll even tell you how old I am and some other tips that maybe aren't even in the book. I'm not 100.
Bonus.
I'm not 35, but I'm somewhere in between.
Okay. See, there's a bonus, folks, and you know what? I want you to be younger. I want you to be more youthful. Hey,
Sure.
you can be a member of NEWBI Nexus even longer this way. So
There you
let's
go.
get in, guys. And again, Wendy, thank you so much. You've got so much to say, and I look forward to working with you, reading your stuff, and seeing your stuff on the Nexus, and
Great.
also getting you out to some of our other events. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it so much. Love you, Bob.
You too. And okay, so now, folks, we've got, as I say, we've got all these experts that you've seen. They're all on the inside of the NEWBI Nexus. We've got 30 free days to try it out. We have got benefits on the website, from card discounts to insurance to all sorts of stuff, clothing discounts and everything geared to help an entrepreneur or a small business owner, either to drive them towards their success or to help keep some bucks in their pocket. We got them. And for a limited time only, our speakers here, part of the summit, have added bonuses if you get in now. It doesn't get any better. You gotta do it now. Okay, now we've got another, Wendy had talked about habits. We're gonna go with our next speaker. We are gonna go big time into habits and attitudes. And now, just before we get into them though, I'm gonna let you think about that. We've got another short video, and then we're gonna be in to talk to Mr. Awesome. So anyway, let's roll the video and to Eric in just a moment.
Let's get off to that networking meeting. There's going to be 150 people there.
Networking? No, I don't have anything to wear.
What you're wearing is perfect. Let's just go.
No, because I don't know what I'd say.
Take a breath, dude. I have heard you go through your hook 1,000 times, and it's perfect. Let's just go.
No, what if my breath is bad, or what if I smell?
You smell like Lily of the Valley.
No, I don't think so. Oh, does it get warm in here?
What's the matter? What's wrong? Something wrong?
I'm gonna breathe.
Bob!
This looks like a case of networking neurosis. Networking neurosis is an irrational and excessive anxiety or depression over reaching out and contacting people to exchange information, especially if it's meant to further your career or your business. Some of the symptoms are sweaty palms,
I got those.
heart palpitations.
Oh, I got those too. Am I gonna die?
Yes, but not today.
Oh.
Fortunately, we have a cure.
Oh, good.
Think of it as jumping into a lake on the May 24 weekend. A little cold, a little scary, but once you get in, it can be refreshing. Second, it's not about you.
Hey.
If you believe in what you have to offer, you need to go out and talk to people so they know what you have to offer. Hearing no and not suffering a fate worse than death is a good thing. It helps you to craft your message and to find the people who want or need your product or your service.
Suck it up, Buttercup. We're going.
Yes, dear. Still think I'm gonna die.
It's your self-talk that's the hardest part. That you don't think you can get out and do that. You can. You can go out and do it. You just have to believe in yourself, find a support system, and go for it.
I think the entire human race, at least the Western civilization, is geared now to being very sedate, and we hold back. We have developed this weird habit of preferring to watch other people live their lives instead of going out and living our own. So I think that very laid-back attitude is what causes us the most problem. So get out there, get started, make your mistakes, and it's okay. You will live through your mistakes, and you'll be the better person for it.
It is a way of life for an entrepreneur. It's not win or lose, it's win or learn.
All right, welcome back, folks, and we've had an awesome evening so far, haven't we? And it just keeps on rolling here. I want to introduce you to a guy here who is, well, he is exactly what his name says he is. He is, in fact, Mr. Awesome. Okay, now this guy, he speaks on stages all over the world. He has got he works with people. He gets the most out of them. He helps them get the most out of themselves, I guess, maybe a better way to put that. He speaks, he writes, he hobnobs with the rich and famous, and he has got a heck of a message for us here tonight. So I'm going to bring him on here. As I say, he is known as Mr. Awesome, and he really is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Eric Swanson. Eric, welcome to the summit.
Hey, Bob, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, no, it's my pleasure. It's having you here is just fantastic. And okay, like when you and I were talking about this show, I said I have to ask you where the heck this name, this Habitude Warrior, has come from. So I'm going to just lead right off with that. Where the heck does Habitude and Habitude Warrior come from?
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question, actually. So here's the deal. I was sitting down. Well, first of all, I want to high five you guys. So hold on one second. High five everyone. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. So you got to have, I love all the high fives. I see that on the videos. That's great. So you got to high five strangers by noon, right? That's another technique I'm going to talk to you guys about in a little bit. But here's the deal. I was sitting down with a really cool friend of ours, a speaker. I was sharing a stage with him. His name's Jim. Some of you might know him. He was kind of famous. He's passed now. Jim Rohn is his name. I don't know if you guys know. Anyway, Jim Rohn and I were sitting down, and he's a philosopher. If you're not familiar with Jim Rohn, by the way, you just need to stop this program. Just go to the nearest bookstore and find some of his books. He's amazing. So he and I were sitting down, and we're talking about sales techniques and all these different things, because I got started with Brian Tracy years ago, and it was all about sales and closing and this and that. And then Jim and I talked about it, and we're like, it's not enough to close people. I don't want to close people. I want to like build habits. I want to build my own attitudes. I want to really help other people be in charge of their habits and their attitude. And I think I stumbled on the word and I said habitudes or something like that. And he's like, wait, that's really good. You should do that. And I was like, you're right. So I went ahead and started Habitude Warrior to become a really in charge of your own habits and your attitude on a daily basis. So that's really the genesis of it when I was sitting down with Jim Rohn years and years ago.
That is really cool. You actually got that. Well, Jim Rohn said do it. Well, I got to tell you, if Jim Rohn told me to do something, I would do exactly that.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'll just bet you though that Jim Rohn wasn't the guy that started calling you Mr. Awesome, though, was he? Or was he?
No, actually, he was not. Jim Rohn was the one that he and I talked about habitudes, and then it was funny. Like fast forward a few years. Or fast forward, go a few more years, and I was sitting down with a guy named John Asseroff, if you're familiar with The Secret, and I was telling him about it. I'm like, I think I really want to work on this habitude thing. He goes, if you don't do it, I'm doing it. So I had to trademark the heck out of that. Then I was speaking in I think it was in California, and this guy comes off. I come off the stage, and this gentleman comes up, and he says, "Oh my God, you are awesome. You're Mr. Awesome." I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. Well, that guy turned out to be Les Brown. So Les Brown,
wow.
when Les Brown calls you Mr. Awesome, you know what you do? You market the heck out of that. You put it on your flyers, your everything. So that's the genesis of it. Is when Les Brown called me Mr. Awesome, I had to keep that nickname.
Oh, absolutely. Well, just like if Jim Rohn tells you something, if Les Brown tells you something, absolutely, that goes on the business card tomorrow.
That's right. Exactly.
So, okay, so where did this come from? This whole your passion, your desire to work with habits and attitudes and help people that way. Where does this all come from?
Yeah, so what I did, Bob, was, like I mentioned before, I got started with a gentleman named Brian Tracy, and this is years and years ago. I'll save you the math. It was about 20 years ago, almost. My 20th anniversary is coming up next year. And when I started with him years back, it was all about like closing skills and overcoming objections and prospecting and lead generation, all these different things to build your businesses. So I did that. I ended up building 4 companies, 3 of them international, which is great. And it's all fun and dandy, but it really wasn't my absolute passion. So I still run all those companies. The thing is, now what I do is I really focus in on other people. I focus in on helping people with their habits and their attitude, because I figure, nothing's going to happen unless you have a really great demeanor and a great attitude throughout the day. Because all of us have all these different things that are coming out into play. And I'm learning from all of your speakers and your experts on this panel. It's great. And if you notice, the common theme is that there are challenges out there. And how do you get around those challenges? And most people, they get bombarded. They get kind of like stressed out, And my definition of stress is when you're not hitting your goals in the time parameters that you allow yourself to hit those goals in. So I just got kind of sick of other people really not being able to harness their own habits and attitude. And I said to myself, okay, if I can do it, other people can do this as well. Let's help other people. So that's my goal, my vision, my passion is really to help other people in harnessing their awesomeness, and that's really what it is. It's all about being awesome in your life. And that doesn't mean to be like, I'm pretty animated, as you can probably tell, right? It doesn't have to be like, jumping on the chairs and dancing on the, and so forth. I mean, I do that. It's fun, but you don't have to. You can be awesome in your own certain way, in your own different way, in your own authentic way. So it's really being authentically awesome. Ooh, there's a book title. So I got to tell you, hold on, just wait. What's time out? Everyone say time out. I got to tell you, I take notes whenever I speak to groups, because I've been speaking for 19 years. I always like, that's a good idea. I write it down and then I go like this, great idea. So I suggest you guys do the same. So that was really good. Authentically awesome. Go.
Okay. Well, that is very cool. Okay. I was going to say helping people harness their inner awesomeness, but yours might be better there. So
love that too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got the pen out, right?
Absolutely. I'm writing it down right now. Got it.
So, okay. Now that is really cool. So one of the things that you mentioned there in terms of, I think, your stress and not hitting your in the times and whatnot. So stress, can I infer from that stress is something we do to ourselves?
Oh, really great point. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're probably an expert on that as well, in learning and different techniques of getting around that. That's awesome. I agree with you. It's allowing ourselves to really be worried. Stress is really when worry comes into play, and then you allow it to overcome you, and you allow the decision in your own mind to say, okay, well, you win fear, or you win stress. It's almost like when our friend Wayne Dyer, I'm sure everyone knows Wayne Dyer, we lost him a few years back, so sad. And Wayne was an amazing gentleman, amazing friend of ours. And he would always say this, like when I started studying Wayne Dyer when I was 17 years old, and I got through him, right? I got through one of the worst things that ever happened to me in my life. A breakup in high school. Okay. I mean, it was just a little breakup, right? I mean, come on, right? But back then I was 17. I was like, oh my God, my life is terrible. Well, I started listening to him on those tape decks, the cassettes. And then I got a chance to meet him and share some stages and so forth. But he talks about this, like, people allow people to do things to you, right? Rather than you. It's people aren't doing things to you. You're allowing them to affect you and affect your stress levels, affect your non-awesomeness. So what I do is, this too shall pass. Just move on. Don't worry about it. Sometimes we need to get rid of the negativity in the world, the negative notions, and stop letting people, like Deepak Chopra tells us this, stop letting people rent space in your mind, and yet you're not even charging them rent for it. You know what I mean? So it's just get in charge of your life and stop letting. Everyone's going to be stressed out about something at some time in their lives. It's what you do with it and how you handle those that's going to make your character and build you to the next level.
All right. That is awesome. That is really good. I like that. But now, you know what? One of the things that occurred to me here is that there are definitely a whole lot of people that, everybody needs to understand how to manage their stress. There's a whole lot of people that know something about it, but there's not a whole lot of people who have decided to get up on a stage and talk about it. So what drove you? How did you end up on a stage talking about habits and attitudes?
Yeah, so I ended up, I worked with Brian Tracy, and he ended up sharing, I became a senior trainer with him. And one of my goals was to hit the stage and actually be on stage and start helping other people. I saw a need for that, and I actually like to have fun as well. So I was like, get me up there. Everyone else is scared. They're like, no way, I can't do that. There's 1,000 people. I'm like, just put me on. I'll rock the stage. It'll be fun. So I did that, and Brian Tracy actually passed me the baton. You know what the baton is? It's the microphone, right? It's a speaker microphone, right? So he passed me the baton at the Javits Center in New York City for the first time years ago. And once he did that, it was like, I'm in. It's great. That was actually a funny story, because when he did that, Brian Tracy, he went on, it was his, he was the main speaker for the whole day. And the promoter at the time told me he was going to put me on, but he never really did. I was like, what's going on? And then Brian looks over at me and goes, you're on, right? I was all mic'd up and ready to go. And all the people were getting up and thanking Brian, clapping, and they were leaving. And Brian's like, no, hold on, guys. We got Eric Swanson. And he comes up and he hands me, Brian actually took off his, because my mic wasn't working. Apparently the promoter really didn't want me on. So Brian literally takes his, I know, it's funny, right? He takes his microphone and headset, takes it off, hands it to me, looks at me square in the eyes. There's 1,000 people in the room. And he says, start talking now. I was like, all right, hey guys, and I started talking. So it was a lot of fun. It was I don't know why I told you that story, but I've never actually told anyone that story. But if you were there, you would have seen it live. Sorry about the beeping, by the way. That might be my computer. I don't mean it to be, but things happen.
Things do happen, don't they? Yeah, it's kind of interesting, that story of yours, because recent surveys have shown that people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of dying.
Yes.
So here you are saying, get me out there. I want to be in front of these people. Okay, yeah. So what's wrong with you?
I know. What's wrong with them? Well, me. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, the way I figure is this. I might be petrified to be in front of a group. I might be really scared to be in front of you right now, in front of millions of audience members watching this. But it's okay, because I figure, how many of y'all have done this where you have something that you're fearful of doing? Like becoming an author. Gosh, I wish I was an author. Look at all the books that I wrote now. All right. So once you become an author, it's like easy to do. Once you do that, once you jump out of that airplane, but you do have the parachute and you studied how to do it, right? Then you get to the ground, you're like, that was easy. Let's do it again. And that's the key. It's really realizing that 80% of the things that you worry about are never going to really happen to you anyway. You're stressed out about nothing. And then the other 20% you really don't have any control over in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess a lot of people are always worried about what might happen. They're borrowing troubles from the future that usually just don't even arrive.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. They worry about things and they stress themselves out. They get in this groove instead of saying to yourself, hey, it's okay. If other people have done it, Roger Bannister, 1952, do it. No big deal. Everyone knows that story, right? I always get the year wrong. 1952 or 1954? Somebody give me an answer on that.
Way back there.
Yeah, it was way back there. And if some of your audience members don't know this story, it's basically the gentleman ran a 4-minute mile. He broke the 4-minute mile he ran like 3 minutes or whatever it was. And everyone was like astonished. It was like, oh my God, we didn't know you could do that. A human being couldn't do that. Well, that was really part of the story. The other part that's even better is the fact that about 16 other people did it within like a 6-month period. And my question is like, did Nike come out with a new shoe that morning or something? No. What happened was, they had the belief system. They're like, well, if he can do it, I can do it too, right? If that can do it, I can do it better, right? That's that song. And if you have that belief system and start integrating into your mindset, and that's a key, Bob. I think that a lot of us need to almost brainwash ourselves in a good, positive way. Give yourself those reminders that other people are doing it. Why can't I?
Yeah, I guess the old expression is that everything is impossible until somebody does it.
Exactly right. That's so true.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And there was a similar story when cars were first started to hit the road, as the top speed went from 30 to 40 and 45 miles an hour. Everybody knew that you couldn't go over 60 miles an hour because the driver would be squished flat in the vehicle. The car and the driver couldn't withstand the forces of going 60 miles an hour.
Right.
And so now there's very few people on the road that go under 60 miles an hour. But so that's just it's really interesting how things change like that. But would you say Roger Bannister with his is that a habit, is an attitude, or what got Roger past the 4-minute mile?
Oh man, that's a bunch of different things. First of all, it's your habits moving to the next level in that. And it's, I have one of my books is called Social Millions. It's not called Instant Millions. And the reason why I bring that up is because Roger Bannister wasn't an instant, it wasn't like, I think I'll run a mile. Hey, I'll do it really fast. No, he had to work up to that and build his habitual, activity levels. So it's habits all the way through. But then it's, in my estimation, my opinion, it's all attitude at that point. Once you have the mastery of the habits, then it's just going to the next level. It's bringing yourself to that next level and giving yourself that ability to reach higher, to reach to the next journey, to the next awesomeness. It's almost like this. Like if I ask you all, everyone's watching this right now, you're sitting down and so forth. Okay, everyone, go ahead. It's okay if you're not in the frame with this, but everyone raise your hand, one of your hands, without getting out of your seat, as high as you can raise it right now. Go ahead. I want to see the people doing this. Okay, excellent. I see some of you guys doing it. Extra mile, and I call it the +1 theory. So it's not enough just doing one thing. Do a +1 theory. Go that extra little step that people aren't noticing, and don't expect anything in return. That's another thing. So really cool stuff.
That is cool. Well, +1, I like that. I don't think I've heard you mention that one before. +1, I like that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe I'll write that one down here.
You should definitely take note on that one. That was good. I have something else that's called it's actually the thank you cards in advance, but it's based on the +1 theory. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, please.
All right, so here it is. It's actually in one of my books I just released. And what I do is this. The technique is sending a thank you card in advance. Let me see if I have one. I think I might have some thank you cards here. I just went on a screen. There we go. Boom. So there's some thank you cards, right? So what you do is you take a thank you card and you grab a $100 gift card from Starbucks. Now, don't skimp on yourself and get a $20 or $15 or something like that. Get a $50 or $100 gift card. All right. What I do is I literally get 5 of these per month. And so it's $500. That's it. It's only $500 out of your pocket. Now you get 5 different gift cards, and now you're going to get a thank you card, and you're going to send it to somebody. Here's some Morton's cards. Okay. You're going to send it to somebody you want to work with. And here's the way the note goes, the thank you card. It says, David or Joe or whoever, hey, I wanted to thank you very much in advance for us working together. It looks like we have a lot to resonate with, and I'd love to see if I can help you with some introductions and referrals, and maybe we can help each other build our business. Again, thank you in advance. I'd love to sit down with you for a quick chat. In fact, lunch is on me, or breakfast is on me, or whatever it is, and you put in that $100 gift card. Well, guess what, Bob? They're pretty more likely to use that $100 gift card on you rather than somebody else. They'd be rude if they used it on somebody else, right? So now you've just locked in literally an appointment with somebody. Now, let me ask you, let's do the numbers for a quick second.
Okay.
because some people say, wow, that's expensive. I can't afford $100 gift cards. Well, why not? I mean, if I told you that somebody's going to come up and say, Wendy, I'm going to hire you. Okay. Wendy's our last expert. I'm going to hire you. You're $70,000 for an hour of coaching. I love it. That's great. I don't know how much she is. Maybe she is. So, and they're going to go ahead and pay for that. Let's say it's only $1,000. Maybe it's $5,000. I don't know what it is, for each of your audience members that are listening, but whatever that client gives you, would you trade that? If I said, hey, I've got 10 new clients here for you, they're going to pay you whatever your rate is. Would you go ahead and say, great, I'll take them out to lunch. I'll spend $100 on them right away just for thanking them? Of course, the answer is yes. So do it in advance. Stop expecting somebody to give you anything, but send it out. Now, the numbers look like this. What if you send 5 of those per month? So it's only $500 a month. And you get one more client out of that. It'll pay for all 500 in the first place, right? Now you're going to build upon that. Really, really easy way to build more business. Nobody's doing this on the planet that I see right now.
That's pretty cool. So it's kind of a combination of paying it forward and just a very smart marketing plan.
Yeah, exactly. And plus you're supporting a company that really needs help. I mean, Starbucks, they really need help.
Yeah, tragic, isn't it? Just
I live in San Diego. I live in Texas as well. And in Texas, they have 2 Starbucks across the street from each other. I'm like, what's going on with this marketing situation?
Well, if you ever come on up to my neck of the woods, we'll take you out to a Tim Hortons, and you'll find that you can pretty much throw a stone from one Tim Hortons coffee place to the next, to the next, and to the next.
That's great. Yeah, I love Tim Hortons. You guys, are you in Toronto or are you? Which part are you?
Yeah, Toronto.
I used to live right there off of Queens Boulevard for a little bit. It was a beautiful area. Loved it.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. So yes, you're. Well, Starbucks is incredibly popular here as well, but yeah. So just like it is in the States, it's Tim Hortons here. You have to. You really can't drink your coffee fast enough to stop at the next one to get another one. So
that's true. Hey, let me give you one more technique on.
Please, yeah.
I share a lot of millionaire stages nowadays, and this is kind of a cool technique. So I just grabbed one of the books. This one's, I don't know if you guys have heard this before. It's kind of not really popular. The Secret, right? So I just grabbed one of the books behind me. But here's the deal.
Secret, all right.
See, it's a secret, right? So what you want to do is you want to grab this book or grab Wendy's book or grab yours, and what you do is this. Here's the way. If you raise your hand if you're a salesperson or if you're an entrepreneur or if you're if you're unemployed every single morning. Okay, so here's what you do. You take a book, you put it in your briefcase, and by the way, you should have 2-3 different. I call them go bags. So you have 2 or 3 different briefcases for different reasons, right? So you've got one that's a brown leather briefcase, maybe the other one's a black leather brief, whatever, and you've got different things in different ones, right? So you're always prepared. My mother taught me that. Always be prepared no matter what. I have literally, if you go to one of my cars outside, you'll see I've got a suit. I've got camping gear to a James Bond tuxedo. I'm telling you, if somebody says, hey, it's Christmas time and I'm going to this ball or something, or my buddy just texted me the other day. He's like, hey, I'm going to this gala and Halle Berry's going to be there and John Travolta. Do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, I'm ready. Let's roll. So you always want to be prepared. So here's what you do: always bring a book. Now, this sounds like a really simple technique, but I'm telling you, Bob, it's going to make so much more money for your callers here. Always bring a book. It doesn't have to be The Secret. It could be one of the best-selling author. This gentleman's name's Eric Swanson. Have one of his books, maybe, or there, whatever. Pick a book, or it could be, or it could be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He's right back here. Or it could be I don't know, whatever. Just grab one book. It doesn't matter which one. Now, it needs to be a success book, though. It can't be any Danielle Steele's or Harry Potter's or anything like that. I'm not saying that. So you got to bring a success book, right? Even though those are successful, it doesn't it's not like hey, this is an entrepreneur success book.
Right.
Here's what you do: you go to Tim Hortons or Starbucks or any coffee shop, and you sit down. Let's say this is my table right here, which I'm here. Here, let me just move this down. Nah, it's not going to work. Okay, I'm at my table. What you do is you put the book down right there on the table right next to you, and now you grab your iPad or something and you're checking your emails and stuff like that, right? Now the book is sitting right there on your table, and people are going to walk by you, and I'm telling you, Bob, out of like 2 out of 5 people usually look at that and they say, oh my gosh, that's a great book, or that's a great read, or what's that book again, or can I take a note on that? May I grab the title? 2 out of 5 people do that, and it's always an instant conversation starter. So I'm telling you, it's a great way to do it. Now, one little caveat on that: don't put the book like this. Don't put it up like that, like it's a book signing or something at the Starbucks or Tim Hortons. All right, but
Gotcha.
it's a fantastic way to build business there. All right.
Okay, so it's putting the book sort of title up beside you without mentioning it, without highlighting it at all, just as a great conversation starter.
Correct. Like, I would love to talk about the E syndrome book. I don't know if you know that one. I'm not sure if it's right behind you. All right. So it's a really great way to do it. It's really a great way to conversate. Start the conversation.
Interesting. I'm sure that a lot of people, people are going, wow, yeah, I go to coffee shops all the time. That's an awesome idea, because, there's all these people there. You want to start saying hello, but if you go to them and say hello, it doesn't typically work well.
Precisely.
So cool. Very, very cool. There's, I know we're just scratching the surface on this kind of stuff, but I know that you've got programs that you're working with. You work with individuals? Is it classes? Like how? What's the range that you work with?
The range. So I work with a lot of different individuals as well as groups. So we do a lot of different things. I mean, I have 4 companies right now that we target. It's all in the success. So what we have is an elite coaching program. It's the speaker academy that I have to bring you to stages across the world, as well as building your own stages. We also help you with becoming an author. That's a huge thing that we do. We also we have these events that are pretty amazing. They're called Habitude Warrior Conferences. And what I do is I invite. It's a 2-year waiting list to get on my conference. It's pretty cool. And I invite my friends.
Wow.
My friends who are like Brian Tracy or Les Brown or Sharon Lecter or the Make-A-Wish Foundation founder, Frank Shankwitz, or Greg Scott Reed, or you name it, Laura Langmeyer from The Secret, all these different speakers. And what I do is I have a 3-day conference. It's 33 speakers, all TED Talk style presentations. So that's really just super, super popular. And we're all over the United States and parts of Canada, as well as Australia and London as well.
Oh, no, that is cool. Now, a question is kind of a little off the reservation, perhaps, but
yeah, bring it.
You are, you're an awesome guy. You're Mr. Awesome. You're speaking on stages. You're working with, some of the top of the top of the top, which of course means that's what you are too. Do you have still today coaches and or mentors to help you keep moving forward?
Absolutely. And again, I'm so sorry about the dinging here or something. If I mute that, then I'll mute the whole thing. So I can't do that. But absolutely, you absolutely 100. Really? Everyone stop texting me right now. All right. You have to have 1,000% sure that you have to have your own coach and your own mentors and your own. Now, here's the key. And I'll tell you one of my mentors, his name's, Brian Tracy was my first mentor. My father was really my first and always going to be amazing in my heart, my life. I just recently lost my father. Very unexpected. Can't believe it. And today's his birthday. So happy birthday to my dad. Right? He's
happy birthday. Yeah, that's
thank you.
I really appreciate you being here. I did not know that this was such a date for you.
It really is. And you know what? This is interesting. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I will. So one of my books is called Social Millions. And I dedicated that book to my father before I knew he was going to pass. Like it was such a shock that he passed. He wasn't sick or anything. He was flying to come see me in New Orleans, actually, for a big weekend, my brother and the whole family. And he passed on the flight over there. It's such a shock, but in shy and light of me crying right now, let's just keep it positive. So the positive thing is I actually, because he's here with me right now, I'm positive they have Wi-Fi in heaven. I'm sure. So if they don't, they really need to figure that out. Spectrum. So can you imagine? He's like, I can't get a signal. God, help me out. He's like, Jesus, you're good at this. You're a millennial. Anyway, so I'm kind of funny, right? So here's the deal though. My dad, I'm funny looking. That's what my nephew says. So my father, he passed on I couldn't believe it, but I I went ahead. Here's a copy of the book. Bam! Here's a little. By the way, this is the intermission, the advertising portion. So there's a picture of me advertising. Okay, so I'm back. So here's the deal, though. I wrote this book called Social Millions, and I dedicated it to my father. And today is his birthday. So I thought, what a cool gift. I mean, I don't know how else I can give a gift to my father right now, but let's give the gift of success for this book that I dedicated to him, and let's make it a bestseller. So I'm on Amazon. I'm actually #1. I was just checking it right before I went on your show here. I'm #1 in 3 categories right now, and #1 in hot new releases as well on Amazon over the world, which is kind of cool. So it's like hats off to him, right? So I don't even know if I mentioned, finished answering your question. I don't even know if there's a question. That was just kind of a plug for my book, maybe. I don't know what it was doing.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay. Well, let's just go a little bit farther then. What's Social Millions all about?
So Social Millions is all about social marketing and social branding. So what I did was I got kind of a little fed up with other people passing me on the highway of success online. And it kind of looked like, it seemed to me, I don't know if you guys can agree on this, but it seemed to me like people were on there for 24/7, you know, and I just can't afford that. I can't afford to be on a computer screen for that long, you know, even hours. So I decided to shorten it. I decided to learn the secrets of the experts. And I did that, and I put it into my own format, my own awesomeness, and then I put it in the book. So now I do a whole video training course on it. It's really cool. I take them through 15 different modules to build your social media, social branding, and social marketing. And I teach them how to do it in a certain order, though, because most people don't do it in the right order. Most people, if it's social media, social marketing, and social branding, most people go into social media first, and they just put everything out there. And they don't really have a brand, have a niche, I mean, let me give you an example. What do you think my nickname is?
Mr. Awesome.
There you go. People know it, people respond to it, and together we make awesomeness. So that's my whole message. So people don't have those brands yet. You need to brand yourself first, then set up your marketing plan. The marketing plan could be going through NEWBI, through this right here, and learning all from how many experts do you have on this program? Like 20 or 30 experts? It's amazing.
On this show, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, just learn from them. How many ideas do each of us need to get from one of the experts out here on your show? I mean, just one great idea, and just use each of those ideas and put together your marketing plan, and then go on social media and really put your awareness out there. It's really cool.
Okay, yeah. So have a point, have a focus before you get online.
Absolutely. Yeah. Most people don't do that. Most people just go out there and throw anything up there.
Yeah. I'm happy to see that it's on the decline, but I'm really tired of seeing what people had for breakfast.
That's right. That was the Twitter thing, right? I just had a bagel. I was like, I just had a martini. Oh, no, just kidding.
Well, you need something to dunk the bagel in.
That's right. Yeah. Tim Hortons martinis.
Yeah, just so you okay. Now you've told us a whole ton of stuff here. Our time is getting short here, and I just kind of wanted to just sort of open the floor. What have we missed? What do you want to tell us about what you do?
I'm here for you. I'm sick of talking about me. Let's talk about you. So, what do you guys think about me? I mean, what I do, I speak all over look, if you're looking for a speaker that's going to bring you to the next level in your habits and your attitude, then call me up. I'd love to touch base with you guys to see if I can help you in your organization. And I'm starting to do these since you guys are up in Canada, I'm starting to do these on like Skype calls and coaching this way as well. So that's what I do. It's just a lot of fun. I love helping people, and I love helping people in their habits and their attitude.
Now, you just mentioned a word that's really close to my heart, and that's fun. My philosophy is kind of, if you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always tell people this, I love having fun in my meetings, my events, my anything. If you're not going to have fun, I mean, put it this way, I'm going to have fun with or without you. So why not just join me, right? So here's the study, though, is they took exhaustive studies about this, that you learn more and you retain more when you're having fun doing it. And people don't care about what you said or what you did. They care about how they feel about what you said and what you did. So if you can combine all those put together and have a communication mastery course within yourself to be able to talk to people and communicate with people, because people aren't listening these days. You know, what I do is I ask good qualified questions to make sure, you know, it's almost like pulse questions, pulse tests, to find out, hey, are you resonating with that individual? So having fun is amazing. You got to do it. And that's what our events are all about, because what we do is we don't like the rigid. Have you ever been to a seminar before where, you know, first of all, it's a seminar. Nobody likes seminars anymore. Nobody likes homework anymore. People want to go to a conference that's amazing, that you're going to learn, you're going to come back and actually put it to work and utilize it and see the results, whether that's personal results, whether it's personal gain, like losing weight or gaining weight, or stopping smoking, drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore. I drink green iced tea is what I drink, or a bottled water. So it's all about your habits and your attitude and your discipline to keep those into play.
That is cool. You know, I don't know about everybody else. I think they should, but just listening to your attitude on how you conduct your live events sounds to me like I'd go home saying, I had an awesome day and I can't wait to apply all this stuff that I learned.
I love what you just said. In fact, I was looking for a card. I think it's here. I won't read the whole card, but I'll just show you. Yeah, it's here. I just got a card in the mail. We get all these every day. I mean, we get cards, thank you cards. And this is a thank you card that, and I won't read the whole thing, but it basically says in here, it says something like, I'll just paraphrase it because I just read it earlier. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Really appreciate going to your event. Your last event was amazing. This is in San Francisco that she went to that. And then it says, someone asked me, who was my favorite speaker out of all 33? And I got to tell you, it was really difficult to answer that question. And then she put ... And I was like, oh no, I'm waiting for the negative. I'm like, no way. What are you going to say? And she says, it's so difficult to answer because I got so much out of every single speaker there that I had no idea that I was going to retain all this awesomeness from different speakers that I didn't even know who were going to be there. So it's kind of like we have surprise guest speakers that pop in, and it's really neat. It's a cool, fun environment.
Nice. I like that a lot. Now, I understand you have got something for those people who are going to join the NEWBI Nexus.
Hold another commercial break here. Here we go. We got to put that up there. You are awesome. This is my little easel that I care. Look, it should look. It looks big, right? It looks like it's a big, huge easel, but it's a little tiny one. You put it in your hand, and what I do is I bring this around and I stick it. Like if I'm going to somewhere, anywhere, like a appointment or something, I'll just put it right there, right on the table. I mean, why not? You got to have these reminders, don't you?
Why not?
So let's give some free stuff. Let's give some cool stuff out. What do you guys want? I mean, I'll give you whatever you want. Look, I'll give you that plant up here. I'll give you the Think and Grow Rich book right there. I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you a new iPhone. You can have my iPhone. Or I'll tell you, you want the iPhone again? I'll tell you what. I've got a video program. It's all based on these two premises. Oh, look, another plug for books. Check it out. So it's based on Secret Habitudes. It's the Habitude Warrior. How to become a Habitude Warrior. And I take you through 50 different modules here. It's really cool stuff. And then I bring you through what's called Social Millions. And it's 15 different modules in this. What I've done is I've kind of condensed both of these down into a 1-hour program. That's a video training course that you can take. It's a $300 course, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to comp it for your listeners if you want to. And I'll just give it to them. Whoever wants this, it's my gift to you. It's yours. And I'll give you the website. I'll even give you a website right now if you want to give it out to them.
Okay, well, I tell you what we're going to do is we're going to put the website on the inside.
Nice.
You want some of this good stuff from Eric, you need to be a member of NEWBI Nexus. Not only is it the free stuff in there, but all these messages that he's coming up with, they're all in there too. So you got the link on the page. You got to get out there. You got to join. You got to hear more from Eric. So get in there, get her done.
That's awesome. I want to add one more thing to it.
Yeah, please.
That's great, by the way. Good point. Let's not give it to every listener. You got to be a member. Good point. So I'll do this. The people who become a member, I'm going to give I'll do a raffle for the people who become a member, and they go ahead and sign up through you guys, obviously, and then they get my video training. I'll have a little link in there for them to send me a message, and I'll put them in a raffle, and I'll do one consultation of 30 minutes. It's $1,000 consultation. charge $1,000 for each 30 minutes that I speak to my coaching clients, and I'll do that for free. I'll do one for free, so somebody will win one.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And I just have this feeling that I'm going to win. But
hey, I got another idea. Let's add to that. Let's add to it. No, by the way, you're omitted. You can't win. We're gonna have William go ahead and put the thing that, you know, if you're a part of this radio station, you can't win. Okay, so here's another. Here's another thing I'm gonna add to it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add 2 tickets. Can I do this? I don't know.
Okay.
Let me talk to myself. Can you do this? Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 tickets. They're $2,500 each.
Holy cow!
I can't believe you can do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to give you. It's not for everyone. It's just a raffle. Okay, for the people who sign up through your NEWBI, then they're in the raffle. They just have to go on the site and download my stuff, and then I'll put them in a raffle for the $1,000 30-minute session, and they will get 2 tickets to one of my upcoming Habitude Warrior conferences.
Wow, this is just crazy. Awesome. Wow.
And one more thing, I'm going to give them a 1 month supply of Wendy, the previous speaker. She's going to donate her Mercedes-Benz for 1 month. You get to drive her car. Yep. You get to drive her car for 1 month.
Wendy is so selfless that way. It's just
I know.
awesome. Yeah.
Wendy's going to pick February because there's 28 days. 1 month. You're in. Anything else you would like me to throw into the pot?
Well, what happened to the iPhone? I lost.
Yeah, you get my iPhone. You can get all the messages too. Oh, Brian Tracy just texted me. Okay, you're gonna get all the messages in there too. No iPhone.
Now, guys, we gotta go. I wish we could spend some more time, but we will. Just not right now.
Not right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much. This has just been a fabulous time. I've learned a lot. I've had some fun, and now you've just blown me away with all of these bonuses for people. People, get out there, enroll, get yourself in front of some of this stuff. So, Eric, thank you so much for everything, and you really are Mr. Awesome.
Absolutely. And somebody's asking me if they can, James McNeil, yes. If you can get that hammer off the top of my thing, it's literally that heavy. I can't get the Thor hammer off so if you can help me. I tried to do it and it fell right to the ground. It was crazy.
Yeah. I was going to say something about that, but then I thought I'd have to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, nice one. Good job. Hey, great seeing you guys. Take care. Rock and roll. Love you guys. Rock and roll. Hey, join NEWBI. It's amazing. Rock and roll.
Thank you. And he's right. Listen to Eric. Join NEWBI. Yeah, we got all the stuff we've talked about and 30 free days. You got the link there. Do it. Do it now. Now, the things that Eric mentioned there was, and as I say, as I'm sure almost all of you out there in the audience here have heard of him. You've probably been to some of his stuff or read some of his books. He is a big deal, and yet he still has coaches, and he stressed about how important that was, right? So I'm about to introduce you to one heck of a good coach here. How do I know? He's my coach. So I want to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to Coach Rick. He is, as I say, he's my coach. He runs programs. If you're interested in coaching, we at NEWBI Nexus can hook you up. So I want to introduce him. So I'm going to say Ricardo Ibarra Rivera, known as Coach Rick. So Coach Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And yeah, Coach Rick is a lot easier because actually my name is Ricardo Ibarra Rivera.
Okay, that's what I said, wasn't
it? Rick makes it easier.
Okay, that's good, Rick. It's great having you on here, and you look a little different from the pictures that I have of you, but the voice, I couldn't.
Yeah, I got a little hair.
Anywhere. So
those are some old shots when I used to shave my head.
Okay, now we're going to be getting into coaching in just a second, but just 30 seconds, I think. You are actually an acting coach and an actor. So I don't know if anybody there as if you are a zombie specialist, but you may recognize this guy. So
Yeah, I was actually the head cannibal. If you season 1 of Z Nation, episode 3, I'm the head
okay.
cannibal in charge. So among other pieces, but that's the most recent. Yeah.
So is it true that people taste like chicken?
A little more like beef, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's kind of get it back to where it's supposed to be here. Rick, as I say, I know what you can do as a coach here, but what's your take on how important coaches are to everybody?
Well, one of the common examples you hear a lot in the training world and stuff like that is, any athlete, for example. Look at any Olympic athlete, any professional athlete. How many of them are out there without coaches? None. They all have coaches. And one of the things that we are now getting into the mainstream is that most successful people out there, this I think is one of the best kept secrets, is that they've had coaches, they've had mentors, they have gotten help. How do you get to a level that you've never been to? Well, hopefully someone helps show you the way, right? They can help to point you in the right direction. These aren't necessarily people that are going to tell you exactly what to do. It's very different. A lot of, at least, my philosophy towards coaching, you have to find it for yourself. And you have to discover what you got inside you. You have to also create the game plan. And a coach is going to help keep you on track with that game plan. There's, accountability, right? If we don't have an accountability structure, we tend to find ways to let ourselves off the hook. And that's maybe one of the biggest things, is helping people develop their discipline. Discipline is one of the base, fundamental, foundational pieces. And that is one of those success principles that without it, really, you're going to have a hard time building on that foundation, because it's the glue that keeps all other success principles together.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I thought I had my ringer off, but then I have my alarm. My apologies.
Well, I was just somebody that wanted to that's been listening to you here and wants to get you on as a coach there. That's all it was. So no worries. So yeah, and I know you've done a lot of work to get to where you are now in terms of that. I want to ask the question. You're a coach. Do you have a coach?
Yeah, I tend to have at least 2. Sometimes I have 3. I use one for my business development. Even though I am a certified personal trainer as well, I get coaching in that realm, and that's more accountability. And then I tend to have a relationship coach. Keep that marriage working.
Interesting.
So, yes, I think if you say you are a coach, you have to be willing to have a coach. And I think you should really question if you want to work with someone as a coach if they don't have a coach.
Okay, well, that's an interesting point there. So is that a question to ask people with, if you're trying to find a coach, should they be asking if you have a coach?
By all means, absolutely. Ask them anything you want. If you're going to be investing in yourself, you're going to want to invest in someone to work with that you can align with, right? And you want someone who's walking the talk, as opposed to, just telling you what to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, so they know whereof they speak, because they too are going down the same path.
Right.
That is cool stuff. Well, now, as I had mentioned before there, you are my coach. You are also working with all of us Nexus people. I don't know if that makes us Nexi. I don't know if that's a word or not.
Nexi.
Yeah, Nexi. So, but now I understand that you come bearing gifts for those people who become part of NEWBI Nexus.
I do. What I've decided to do is to give a discount. If you join NEWBI here, I'll be charging $500 a month. It's a $250 discount per month. And what that entails is 4 30-minute calls a month. We talk once a week. Our first month, the first call will be on call. And part of that also, aside from, my library that I share with all my clients of courses and audios and everything, I work with a company called Franchise Central. I'm the head coach for them. I have a dozen certified coaches working for me. And we have an assessment tool called a Navigator. Perhaps you've heard of Myers-Briggs or DISC or something like that.
Yeah.
All great stuff. Well, ours is better. It really is. It's phenomenal, and it's values based. It's not personality based. So we get a little bit of a deeper dive. It's really something else.
Okay.
So we'll start you off with one of those assessments, and get you going that way. Now, also, if you perhaps want to work with a lady or just a different coach, I'm going to be charging $400 a month to be working with one of my certified coaches.
Okay.
So we got some nice discounts there for everybody.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
hop on the NEWBI train.
Hop on the NEWBI train, absolutely. And so just a question about your Navigator and the assessment. Is that to help match you up with a coach, or is that to help the coach figure out where you are today, or both?
Both, really. We use it for both. The Navigator right now is being used a lot inside of the franchising world. We help franchisors find the right candidates to sell their franchises to, for example. It's also fabulous in team building. I have small businesses using them. One of my clients has a law practice in Florida, and we've used it to create the profile for the ideal employee for him, and we've hired a receptionist and a paralegal now, and both are doing amazingly well. And we're getting ready to hire a lawyer, and so we help in the hiring process by cutting down a lot of time. We can weed out a lot of people when we can create benchmarks, for example, for companies, and say this is the benchmark. This is the areas where we're going to want to see your ideal employee, where we're going to want to see your ideal team member. So yeah, it's fabulous stuff.
Okay, yeah, it does. It sounds awesome. So, Coach Rick, I am so delighted that you're able to make it on the show here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you that he and his techniques are outstanding. So really get into the Nexus and check him out, and talk to him, see what's involved. I think you're going to, I know you will benefit. So Coach Rick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's great being here.
Good. Thank you. Well, and I'll be talking to you, in actually a couple of weeks here. But anyway, that is awesome and outstanding. Now, Coach Rick, as I say, I call him Coach Rick. We all do, because he is my coach. We're going to take a short break, a video, and then I'm going to talk to my guru. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the video, and we'll come back and we'll talk to, well, he doesn't have that whole Eastern mysticism thing going on, but he's still my guru. So enjoy the video, folks.
Hi, my name's Matilda. Did you ever want a perfect widget but you couldn't find it? Why did I say no? You're going to ask me what I do. Well, let me ask you a question. Did you ever want a perfect widget that you couldn't find it, and you needed a green one, but I only had a blue one? Oh my God, what if they say no?
This woman is suffering from athlete's tongue, also known as tongue tripiditis.
I've been in networking meetings where someone has been asked to stand up and talk about their business for 30 seconds, and they stand up and they go, I sell makeup, and sit down. That is athlete's tongue.
Fortunately for her, I have 4 cures. First, take a speaker's course. That course is going to help you develop the skills to speak to an audience of all sizes. 2, get yourself a personal coach. That coach is going to help you develop the confidence that you need. 3, talk to a marketing person. They'll help you to develop the pattern that is going to make you very effective. And 4, just get out there and practice, practice. And remember, it's not about you, it's about them and how you can help them. So now, get on out there. All you need is a 30-second hook, and the people who need your product or service will come find you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you!
Very welcome. Ooh, I wonder if she washed her hands.
Speaker's course? Yes. Marketing person? Yes. Business coaching? Yes.
Oh my God! What if they say no?
Does anyone know where they keep the extra paper? All right, welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you back. And I hope you took the time during the video to join the Nexus. You owe it to yourself. Come on, guys, $9.95 a month and a free month. Come on, you got to be in there. Oh, one of the things you should check out while you're in there is the 3 and Free program. So if you're finding that $9.95 is just way too much for your budget, okay, and you just aren't going to give up a couple Starbucks a month to promote yourself, well, I've got another solution for you here. Refer 3 people. You got 3 active people that you've referred, you're free. Do that during your free month, and you'll never pay a penny for any access to the NEWBI Nexus. We've got all the speakers that you've heard so far. You're going to have the one that I'm just about to talk to, and all those tomorrow, and a ton more, and not pay a penny? Oh, come on. And all these bonuses right now on top of that, and all the benefits that you can put yourself in front of. Come on, it just makes sense. So get in on it all. So there's a link on the page. Do it now. Make sure you open it in a new window so you can keep watching this guy here that I'm about to introduce. And now this guy, I have known him for a few years now. You know, he is the CEO of his own company, visionary. Yes, he is a visionary. That is for sure. He's also an amazing, amazing speaker, seller from the stage, coach, and guru. And I'm so delighted to have this guy here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the guru himself, Mr. James McNeil. James, welcome to the summit.
Hello, welcome. It's such an honor to be a part of this. Bob, I'm a raving fan, as you know, and to be a part of the launch of NEWBI Nexus, I'm just over the moon. So I'm honored. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. So yeah, I've talked to you about you being a guru. So and I'm sure people are wondering, as they say, they're looking at you going, he doesn't have one of those big hats. He's not sort of sitting, cross-legged on a carpet. What's the guru?
I could be sitting cross-legged on a carpet.
We can only see from the chest up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's probably fine. So yeah, as far as the word guru, it's actually a word that I used to make fun of. Not fun of the people who are real gurus, but just any normal person calling themselves a guru, because I've always looked at the word guru with the highest of respect, the highest of regard. And so for me, I don't take the word lightly. My glasses are shining back. Let me see if I can go without. Hey, I can still see my computer. Let's see if that works for a while. So for me, I've always thought of gurus as being like mystical, kind of above humanity, some kind of spiritual realm individual. And so I always came towards that word with great awe and honor and respect. And then when I was teaching, my speaking goes back. I've been a speaker now for 25 years. I know you're looking at me, you think, wow, did you start when you're 2? Yes, that's what it is. I started when I'm 2. And I've been speaking professionally for 25 years now. And so probably after the first 5 years, people kept coming to me and say, how do you do that? How can you be a speaker? How could you be, and then I was an author by then. So how can you be a national best-selling author? How can you be a speaker? How does anyone get into this? And so for 20 years, I've been guiding people and coaching people on how to do, whether it's be a coach or a speaker, an author, or a consultant. And so it's just for myself, Bob. It was just, and I don't know if you know this story, but I had it just written in my business vision notes that that one folder of activity, I called that Guru Builder, right? But I was mocking myself, like, who do I think I am? I'm not a guru or anything. So I called it Guru Builder, and then a publisher saw that in a conversation we were having. They said, "Oh my gosh, you've got to publish that book, The Guru Builder." And I was very shy of the word. So it actually is something that I'm always a little shy of, because I see it as something high and holy. But in my more recent years, I've researched the use of the word, and historically, it's the Hindu leaders, spiritual leaders, and then also the founders of Sikhism were called the gurus. And so it is it's a spiritually highly respected term. But then there's other uses of the term throughout history, and I found that it always means this. And so for those of you who are on here and you're interested in, can you be a leader in the marketplace? Can you be a leader in your field? I mean, a chiropractor just goes, in the yellow pages or something and competes against other yellow pages. Listen to me. How old am I? Do people use yellow pages? Is there any such thing? I don't know. Anyway, what? but however you compete, how do you compete, right? And so, but if you're the professional in your community, whether you're butcher, baker, candlestick maker, a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist of sorts, or a chiropractor, how do you stand apart? And so if you wrote a book, if you did speaking at the local college, if you were seen as an authority figure, a leader amongst others within your field, all of a sudden you would be special, distinct, unique, and therefore you could charge more, and there'd be a lineup. So I thought, well, people have information that they can share. They can be a knowledge for profit professional, or not even profit off it, just give their services. But as soon as you identify yourself, you allow yourself to be seen as an authority figure, then the world will see you as such. And so I've done research on the word, and now I found that the word simply means this is a trusted leader that helps others find their way. So that's it. Technically, every use of the term guru refers to someone who is a trusted leader that helps others find their way. And if you're willing to be a trusted leader and help others find their way in your current professional activities or something else, it is not inappropriate to refer to yourself as a guru. I do so with great honor and homage to those who come from the spiritual line of gurus. So thanks, Bob. I had to explain myself. I felt all guilty using the term guru for myself. So I'm now officially humbled. Thank you, my friend.
Well, no, it was not my intention to humble you. It was my intention to elevate you. It's we look at you upon that enlightened leader that helps people find their way. So, and I think you've helped a lot of people over the years do exactly that. So, well, in fact, even we asked you what you're going to talk on tonight, and you talked about becoming. Your title was "Become $1 Million Author, Speaker, and Coach Consultant." I mean, that really kind of covers pretty much everybody, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, if a person is willing to take that role, that responsibility, there are incredible rewards. Now, you might think the term $1 million is too much. Some people watching this might say, "Look, if I could elevate my position in the marketplace just to raise raise my the quality of my clientele, or increase the power of my marketing and sales, or increase my rates. If it could help me in other ways, I don't need to make money off of being a guru. Then that's fine. If it would be good to, let's say, give presentations and start charging, let's say, $2,000. I'm now $20,000, but $2,000 for a presentation. Then if you did 10 of those a year, that's an extra $20,000. Well, that's not bad. So you don't have to become $1 million a year author, speaker, coach, consultant, trainer to say that you've benefited from this presentation. But can people interact with me here, Bob? If people were to type in a question, or if I was to do any kind of polling, Bill or Bob, is there any way for folks to interact with me? Because I'm fine with just going for it, but I'm happy to take any questions if you think that would be helpful. What are your thoughts on that, Bob or Bill?
Yeah, well, the answer to everything is yes. Okay, so and that's actually a good point. Now, folks, if you're listening, you've got questions. We got two ways for you to let us know. If you're on our website, there is a chat window as part of the page that contains this presentation. So type in your questions. Operators are standing by, as they say, and we're ready to take those, and we will feed them off to James, at the appropriate times. We have also got a Twitter link. We're watching Twitter as well. It's just direct your question to @NEWBI Nexus, and once again, we're watching, and we will get all those questions to James and get answers to us.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So then one of the things I'd like to do is just share with everyone here. Technically, what I have a 3-question method to research whether you're in fact designed to be a guru, right? There's some people are just made to do this. And so let me just ask you a question while you're watching. Maybe you can text in or do what Bob said, tweet in, or you twit in, do the Twitter thing.
There are twits that tweet, but there's none of those watching this show.
No, they wouldn't be. No, everyone who wants to work with you is far superior to a term like that. So I apologize profusely. Of course, I know I'm in good company. But you can tweet. You can do the chat, as Bob was said. But here's a question for you. How many of you love to learn? Let Bob know if you love to learn. Say, I love to learn. Just type that in or tweet that. Say, I love to learn. If you're on here, I bet it's safe to say you love to learn. There's other things you could be doing right now. And you've invested your time to be here to learn, to invest in yourself, to say, I can take my life, my business, my entrepreneur, maybe my relationships, my finances to another level. I have a belief that I can have more and give more. You're a unique individual. The vast majority of people in the world today will invest far more in entertainment than they will on self-development or economic development or business development. And so you're a special person to be watching this and listening right now. So I think it's safe to say you love to learn. I think it's safe to say. Number 2, do you love to help people? Like, do you really get a charge out of that? When you can see someone else's life is better for you having lived, because you were here today, the planet's a slightly better place. Now, I'm not trying to go to the arrogant side of that, but just like, do you open the door for strangers? Do you help people in the way that you do your business, your work? Are you polite and pleasant, and do you say please and thank you? If you enjoy making the world a better place, if you enjoy helping people, 2 out of the 3 of the DNA signals, the triggers, the identifiers, 2 out of 3 questions, you are a guru. Now let's go to the 3rd one. Have you noticed that people come to you for advice? Now, this is the way that the marketplace or the social mirror or society itself is identifying you. The world can see something that sometimes you can't see yourself. And I had to listen to mentors. I've just spent the last 2 weeks with Les Brown. Some of you know who Les Brown is. He was my mentor. He's the king of motivation, if you ask me. And I've just spent the last 2 weeks, and we're working on, literally, while we're on this call, I expect to get a text to confirm that we have a movie deal. We're doing a movie documentary, and we're part of a book and all kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So he helped me to see this many years ago, 30 years ago. He helped me see that there's something about me that makes me unique. And this is the 3rd part of the formula to find out if you're a guru. And that is, so first is you love to learn. Number 2, you love to help people. And then the 3rd one is people seek your counsel. So you might want to jot that down. The guru DNA test is, do you love to learn? Do you love to help? and do people seek your counsel? So if in your experience in your life, if people have come to you saying, I just want to share, I just want to tell you my concerns or my thoughts or my feelings, my needs. Let me tell you what I should do. What do you think I should have done? Do you have any advice? Do you have any input? If people come to you to bellyache, whine, bitch, moan, complain, if they come to you to just run ideas by you, these are all clues that you are in fact a guru, and the rest of the world can see it. And I encourage you to face that fact. I believe you have a calling. If you've said yes to those three, you love to learn, you love to help, and people seek your counsel, then I believe you have the calling of a guru. There's a desperate need for gurus in our society today. I really want you to write that down. If you're taking notes, there is a desperate need for gurus in our society today. My main playground where I do my own actual guru work, like here, I'm helping you become a guru. So this is something I do, and I love it, called the Guru Builder. I help raise up next generation gurus. But my own guru empire is built on communication. So I help people communicate honestly, openly, respectfully, and directly through verbal Aikido. This is pure communications mastery. It's emotional intelligence, communications mastery, and we weave it through the philosophy of Aikido. And in that work, I'm very sensitive to the fact that we have a complete breakdown in how people manage their emotions in their communications. And it's causing incredible challenges. If you look around the world, you look at political leadership. We just had an American election, and through that, you saw a lot of emotions. People are losing friends on Facebook because they backed someone or voted for someone, it's unique. We have lost the ability to communicate honestly, openly, respectfully, collectively. We've lost the ability to have robust dialogue as a society in general. I'm not pointing my finger at you, although I might point my finger at you. That's not what that was. And so we have addictions running completely out of control. Addictions are a counterfeit. It fills the need of a genuine, authentic relationship. Those who face addictions, whether chemical, sexual, behavioral, whatever the addiction is, this is a person who's trying to fill a need of a genuine, authentic relationship. Have a genuine, authentic relationship, you don't need the addiction anymore. We've got breakdowns in marriage, breakdowns in society. There's a giant, beautiful book called Bowling Alone. I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but talking about how society is so broken down into egoic individualism that the bowling leagues are even empty. So the churches are emptying, all communities empty, because people are uncomfortable and unable to just work through differences with each other. And so they're left hiding behind their keyboards, being very brave to what they think about things. So it's an interesting time. There's a desperate need for gurus, economic gurus. Economics are so complex today. How do you deal with it? It's like even the high-level investment advisors, and I've worked with the world's most powerful banks. According to my buyers, they told me I was the highest-paid consultant of the world's most powerful banks, 3 of the top 10. And working with the top experts in economics, if you push them, they'll admit they actually don't understand it. They just understand it better than the rest of us. So economics is complex. Cars are complex. People don't fix their own cars anymore. People don't know how to deal with the complexity of life. There's a lot of stresses and strains. And so we have a desperate need for gurus. If you are willing to master something, anything, you can pass that expertise on and help people. People cannot deal with the overwhelm and the overload of society today in the relationship breakdown. And so for coaches, for speakers, for authors, people who are willing to share their story, do you know you have a voice? Do you know you have a story? Do you know you have a message? If you feel something inside of you says, I want to see those people live better than they're currently living. I want to make a positive impact. You've got guru written all over yourself. So just admit it. You love to learn. You love to learn. You love to help, and people seek your counsel. You are in fact called to be a trusted leader that helps others find their way. Now the good news is, if you know how to do this business, it's one of the highest paying professionals on the planet right now. You can do incredibly well. I come from the wrong side of the tracks. I wasn't supposed to make it. I have ADHD. Some of you can tell I have ADHD still. I still have trouble spelling. I can't fill in forms. I'm sure I could. I just don't like to. But I've struggled with all kinds of things. And I came from a challenging home situation. My dad, I love him and I miss him. He's passed away. But we ended our story in great peace and beauty. But he struggled when I was a child with alcoholism and violence. And so I have ADHD. I was the youngest of 4. It was mayhem. I frankly wasn't supposed to make it. I was virtually homeless at the age of 18. And here I've had this incredible storied career where I've circled the globe 7 times in the last few years, spoke with everybody you can imagine, all the biggest names. One of the coolest one was Sir Richard Branson. Oh, he's a really nice guy, by the way. You see these billionaires and millionaires, and you're not sure, it's like, what are they in real life? That guy's the real deal. I can tell you, not everyone is the real deal, but he's the and met with, and I just had someone was suggesting I do a book with Tom Hopkins today. Someone was talking to him and talking about me, I guess. So all kinds of cool stuff. And so if you can be a guru in a society that desperately needs trusted leadership, they need healthy voices, you can transform your life, your economics, and any business venture that you're currently involved in. So that's what I want to talk to you about this evening. But let me just pause and breathe for a second, Bob. I just did a quick sprint into what could it be to be like, what could life be like as a guru? But I want to get more clear on what it takes, what are the dimensions of that, and how to get started if you're interested in taking the authority position within your field, within your profession. So, Bob, let me just pause, see if any questions have come in, or if you have any thoughts on what I've covered thus far.
Well, absolutely, and I think the old magic is starting up again, and listening to you, and I've just started to get all excited again about the potential and the opportunity, and where things could go from here.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a wonderful feeling, and I know just the people that I can see and see their images. There's a lot of nodding heads, and there's a lot of
great,
absolutely. So and yeah, I think you're right. We need more gurus, and
yes.
I guess it's not really so much a matter of telling people where to go and what to do, is it? It's guiding them to their own decisions.
No, there's lots of people who tell people where to go. They don't get paid a lot of money for that. They don't make friends telling people where to go. But and that's one of the tricky things actually about gurus. When I work with the newbies, newbies, look at that, the new gurus. I mean, when I work with the young gurus who are starting, and by the way, when I say young, yeah, I mean young of all ages. We were working with, we're setting up a thing for pro football, retired football players and UFC fighters and so on, to help them move from success to significance. And so that's a project that I was working on a proposal today. Why did I brag about that? Because I'd like to brag. Oh, just to say that there is, in fact, a desperate need for gurus. And when I work with the young gurus, it's something I have to help them with, Bob, actually. A lot of new gurus, they think they're supposed to talk down to people, like it's a parent-child, a superiority thing. I'm smart and you're not. I'm rich, you're broke. I don't know if anyone remembers Tom Vu, the real estate guru of the 80s. Last I heard, he was doing Hard Time somewhere, but he would get on the TV and he would say, "I am rich, you are a loser." And he would just talk down to people. And some people took to his work and they said, well, I guess he's successful, I want to learn from him. But as a guru, people do not desire to be talked down to. I have people who talk down to me and they want me to hire them. I just got emails from marketing people say, "We saw your websites, they really suck, you should hire us." And I thought, I don't completely disagree with you, but I'd rather pay a nice person. So I'm not going to give you my money for insulting me, but thank you for that anyway. And so people who are new at being gurus, they think their job is to insult everyone and make everyone feel like they're desperately lost and foolish and they need a guru to save them. We're not saviors. We can be friends. We can be consultants and supports and encouragers. We don't have to talk down or look down at anybody. In fact, I find it to be quite not only distasteful, but it's a short-lived relationship. People don't like that. I mean, day one because they're desperate and they think you're smart, but after a while, they just realize that's your game. You got to make other people feel small so that you can look big, and that's not really what a guru is. We're just simply trusted leaders that help others find their way. And your expertise could be quite simple. Like, let me see. I just drove back from Florida. Okay, so I just drove back, and I did it in 24 hours to the second, to the minute. Sorry, 24 hours to the minute from the moment I left Orlando to the moment I pulled into my brother's place here in Aurora, Ontario, Canada. And you might say, that's crazy. You drove straight. You're able, you did that, and I don't think anyone would buy this seminar. But I'm just saying I could, because I've done something unique. I could teach that. How to manage your energy, how to eat, how to, if anyone's interested in that, I could communicate on that. I can do seminars on how to travel the world, And Wendy, I don't know if Wendy's still here. I saw Wendy earlier. Wendy is one of the experts that helped me out with my health and wellness as it related to world travel. She got me onto this, what's it called, melatonin, and take a shot of that stuff, get on an airplane. I wake up in Singapore. It's great. So you might say, well, James, that's not your expertise. Well, if anyone who's watching this, whether you're watching this live or otherwise, if you have survived something other people haven't survived, accomplished something someone else hasn't accomplished, if you've invested time really understanding something that other people don't want to invest the time in, you are now officially positioned to be a high-priced expert. Now, if the expert you've mastered is how to cut lawn evenly, maybe you're not going to make as much money as a guru as a person whose expertise is how to make $1 billion on the stock market. So there is a price to value, right? The value. So what you know and what you pass on, if people do not see a profound economic or personal value to it, then the prices wouldn't be that high. But I can show you how you can have a blueprint for your guru empire, teaching virtually anything that you do. And so I just want to encourage people that you don't have to know some gargantuan thing that's very unique. People are hired to do all kinds of things. Did you know, Bob, that people are hired as professional shoppers? You're a sharp-dressed man. You know what you're doing. Did you know that some people are hired to be professional shoppers, that they're hired by people to go to the mall and come back with stuff? So the people, either they don't trust themselves to know what to purchase or whatever, but they hire professional shoppers. That's a guru. That's another form of expertise to help a person make their life easier. People have too much going on, and there's many opportunities to be a guru. And you can come alongside people. You don't have to talk down to them. So that's actually a big deal. I know we were kind of playing, but that's actually a big deal to be a successful guru, is to treat people with complete and total respect. Here's a term I'd ask everyone to write this down. As a guru, as a leader, as an authority, you want to remember this. They are the boss. You are the expert servant. So when I'm here, I'm serving you, my friend Bob. I want to help you because I believe in you. I believe in NEWBI systems. I believe in Nexus. I believe that people should be a part of your community and do that immediately, not waste time. Your prices are incredible. Your value probably off the charts. I want to help people by encouraging them to join Nexus right now. Well, I'm serving you, but I'm also serving the viewer to make sure that this is of value to them. And so, but by serving, it doesn't belittle me. I'm not lesser than because I'm serving. My master mentor said, I've come not to be served, but to serve. And if that was his line, then that's good enough for me. So as servants, we get paid more than virtually anyone on the planet. As a guru, I've turned my annual income into my monthly income, into my weekly income, then into my weekend income, then into my daily income. Now I've made more in an hour than I would have made before in 10 years. And so as a guru, the income it's more than fine. And even if you weren't going to go for it full time, it can augment your work. So I really encourage you to think, how can I contribute? How can I pass on my expertise? And let me give you one idea, and then I'll go back to you, Bob, for other direction or questions, because I got tons that I want to share, but I want to hit this one. I lost my thought, Bob. I got so excited. I saw your picture and I thought, oh, that Bob, he's such a good guy. He's a friend of mine. I lost my train of thought. I have ADHD. Everyone forgive me. I'm doing the best I can. There was something. Yuck. What was it? Anyways, anything that you've learned, you can pass on. And people need that expertise, whatever it is. So let me hand it back to you for a moment, Bob, and then I'm going to release the hounds and start pouring through the content I have planned. But any questions come in so far, sir? Anything that you have based on what I've just shared?
Well, it's more comments, a lot of agreement with I guess just using your term, like the adult to adult communications and the not looking down upon people or I guess it works the other way around too, is that when you've got a coach, you've got a mentor, a guru, you need to keep the relationship with them on an adult to adult basis rather than acting as the child to their adult.
Yes, absolutely. And this is an important thing as a guru. You're going to want to be mindful I'm sorry, whether you have a guru, and to your, is it Coach Rick? Is that the name of your coach?
That's him.
Yeah, Coach Rick. As he was saying, if you say you're a quality coach, then you should have a coach, right? Yeah, like every guru should have gurus. And so you're on the buying or the selling right now, no matter which perspective you're looking at. Please know this, that there's three kinds of relationships. You might want to write this down. There's controlling, collaborative, and compliant. And so we often think that the guru, the expert, is supposed to be the controlling, the dominant, and say, let me tell you how you need to behave. And then the consumer of the guru expertise is supposed to be compliant. And then we think that friends are supposed to be collaborative. Well, here's the thing: some gurus are actually the compliant, and the buyer is the controlling. And what I found is these are limited value proposition relationships. My strong encouragement is this: seek to the best of your ability in all of your relationships, professional and otherwise, guru and otherwise, to be collaborative. My clients don't look down on me, and I don't look down on them. We respect each other, and it opens the floodgates. I just did a project where what I do is one of the works I do with Verbal Aikido is I come in and do peace talks. I help bring groups together, and I'm very excited to be working with. We have a proposal right now into Miami Police Department to help them with their de-escalation communications training. I'm speaking at the Florida Public Safety Institute for all the top trainers in the state of Florida to teach them verbal Aikido skills. We have a proposal in right now to New Jersey State Police, and we're working towards Dallas to help the police in dealing with society that doesn't necessarily respect police as they used to. Some people see the law enforcement individuals as like stormtroopers from Star Wars. They're the henchmen for the evil empire. And so there's all kinds of dynamics that have really changed. And if law enforcement do not keep up with emotionally intelligent communications to become a Wi-Fi of peace, to say, if I'm here, you're fine, so is everyone, so am I. And to de-escalate from 100 yards away, because people pick up on the social cues and the emotional cues from that distance. So I work with law enforcement. I work with professional athletes, work with whatever. I'm working with all kinds of people to help them with that communications. And I'm telling you, the project, I was going to talk about the project. I was able to get in between three people groups that were in business together, and they were in a fight. And literally, if you ask them, they would tell you, in the last 2 weeks, they believe I have helped them save $100 million of business over the next few years, just by getting them back on the same page. And so collaborative changes everything. Nobody has to be the dominant. Nobody has to be compliant. We're all sharp folks, and we can respect each other, and we can build incredible empires, and no one has to have that kind of dynamic. And so it's very encouraging that as a guru, we're just servants. We're just expert servants. And so we get a great deal of respect. We get treated very well. Everywhere in the world, I get red carpet treatment. They want to put me in 5-star hotels and, the fancy planes, and treat me really well. And it's a little humbling sometimes because, when really powerful people treat you with that kind of respect, especially when you come from my kind of background, it's very humbling and very overwhelming. And I love it. And I would be shy to receive that kind of blessing, except I'm able to see their bottom lines and see them produce hundreds of millions of dollars of sales in 6 months. A project I did. In 6 months, I was able to help them produce $100 million in new deposits. And so when you get this whole guru thing, you're able to help people generate such profound, positive economic realities that you don't mind taking the paycheck. At that time, that bank was only paying me a measly $100,000 a month. I mean, come on. It's not even fair. But
that's just awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I loved that project, by the way. But you can do really great things and help people, and you can feel good about it, because there's another thing you might want to write down. The word deserve. If you are not earning enough right now, it's simply because you're not serving enough. The word deserve means from service. So from service. If you're not earning enough, it's because you're not serving enough. If you want to earn more, serve more. Find a way to make the world a much better place. Transform the lives and the economics of organizations, institutions, and individuals, especially powerful ones. And you write your own ticket. And so if you serve greatly, you deserve greatly. And that's one of the greatest ahas that served me. When I was, and one last thought, Bob, and I'll come back to you. One of the things that helped me when I was virtually homeless when I was 19, 20 years old. I was just scraping by day to day, and I was in a suicidal depression, quite frankly. I was trying to figure out how I could make it someday, and I had to have these visions of grandeur, you know, someday, someday, somehow, things will be better. Maybe I'll be rich or something, or popular. Maybe I'd be a movie star, who knows? But I had these dreams of grandeur, but I thought, how the heck am I going to ever do that? And then I had a spiritual transformation. I started to see real value in myself, and I give all the glory to God. And I started to move forward. And I thought, you know, my dream, I want to be a billionaire philanthropist. I'll encourage people to write that down, billionaire philanthropist. So then I thought, okay, I believe I'm smart. I believe I can add value. So now how can I pull this all together, right? So I thought, if I want to be a billionaire philanthropist, that's a good goal, by the way. I encourage everyone to write that down. Billionaire philanthropist. It's worth going for. And I thought, well, to be a billionaire philanthropist, what do I have to be first? Well, I have to be a billionaire, right? You can't start giving away billions if you don't have them. Okay, fine, I have to go make money. But what I realized very quickly is I don't care that much about money. Most of the people who do very, very well in any discipline, they're not as focused on the rewards as the motivational speakers say. They're focused on perfection and excellence in something they've put their mind to, in the service that they get to render. And then the rewards come. It's like the apple tree doesn't grunt to produce apples. It just produces apples. Why? Because it's an apple tree and it's healthy. And so if you're healthy and doing something of mastery, the fruits just come in, the rewards come in. And so I was chasing money for a little while, and I thought, I don't care. And I thought, let me just start helping people. You know, I can't give them money. I'm not rich yet, but let me at least start helping. And all of a sudden the money started coming in, and I realized, wait, I had it backwards. And this is a secret. I hope everyone can receive this. The secret to becoming a billionaire philanthropist is start by being a philanthropist, because the more we serve, the more we deserve. You may not have billions to give away, but you have time and attention and focus and care. You can give people the greatest treasures that they're after. People are seeking relationships, genuine, authentic relationships. The media, the machine has taught us that we're lusting after power, fame, and fortune, but these are all counterfeits of the truth, which is love, joy, and peace. You have what the world is genuinely craving. And if you can serve more people through your expertise, your abilities, you will all of a sudden ignite the power of reciprocity. And all of a sudden the floodgates will open up, and you'll move towards that billionaire status. The more you serve, the more you deserve. And that unlocked everything for me. So there's a little couple of tidbits for you, Bob, before I before I hit the PowerPoint here.
Yeah, no, that's outstanding. I love that. And I guess Zig Ziglar used to say, if you can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely true. So did any questions come in, sir, that I can address? Because otherwise I'm going to start pounding through some content here, because I have some things on deck that I've thought of and dreamt up in advance, hoping that this would serve your community. And if I understand correctly, Bob, this community, for the most part, is entrepreneurs, small business entrepreneurs, more than anything else. Is that your primary people group, professionals and small business entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that's exactly it. People who are making it on their own.
Beautiful, beautiful. So cool. So one of the things, go ahead, sir.
So I was basically just going to say it's kind of a in terms of the Twitter front and the chat front here, it's kind of a good news, bad news thing. The bad news is that we're not getting questions. The good news is that it's a love fest out there.
Yay.
Yay, they are loving you, and they are loving your message. So
good.
That's awesome.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I don't have any questions for you, so I'm gonna kind of get out of your way.
Okay.
Go with your PowerPoints there.
Cool. So let me off the leash, and I'm going for it. So first thing I'm going to ask is, can you accept a fundamental truth that is essential if you want to take your life like through the moon? One of the things I found, sorry, I'm balancing my laptop on my knees as I'm in my brother's office, which is a very busy room. He's a very busy guy, so I've got myself propped up here, so bear with me. But if you want to see massive transformation, you have to actually allow for it. So I'm going to ask you if you can accept that you can be more, do more, have more, and give more. And a lot of people basically think that life is as good as it gets, right? They look at their friends and like, well, my life doesn't suck as bad as that guy. So maybe I'm kind of hitting it. Maybe this isn't so bad. And I have good days and whatever. And if only I get a shiny new bowling ball, you know, I will have hit the pinnacle of life's existence. And that's fine. Go for the bowling ball. I think it's a great idea. But I just want you to know that you probably had dreams and visions greater than this current reality when you were a kid. You probably had visions. You probably thought, man, someday I want to go to the moon. I want to fly in a jet. I want to do these things. And then somewhere along the line, people, forgive me, but they kind of dumped all over your dreams. And you went, geesh, maybe I just need to settle. Maybe I just need to aim smaller, aim lower. I mean, who am I? Why should I take all the money? Why should I have Rolls Royce or Bentley? Why should I have a Learjet? Why should I be treated any differently than anyone else? And people get all blurry about stuff. Let me say this. When you serve greatly, stuff comes your way. You're going to get blessed, right? I was hanging out with Grant Cardone. Some of you know who Grant Cardone is. I was at his place, and his beautiful new $400,000 Rolls Royce is in the parking lot, and he's talking about his jet. I think it was a Gulfstream. I'm tempted to say Learjet, but Gulfstream or whatever. And this guy isn't shy about his earnings. And for me, I used to be shy about wealth. I used to have discomfort around money. But I just want you to know that you can be more. There's more to you than this world has seen. I think you know that. Like, there's more to you. You've got thoughts, you've got feelings, you've got emotions, you've got a voice that's supposed to get out of the cage. You're supposed to laugh more, and you're supposed to try more, and you're not supposed to be so afraid of making mistakes. You're meant for more. We're, as a society, we're derailed. We are derailed. We're drugged. We're suffering from delusions, and we're distracted. We're so distracted. Our species is wired for high calling. And so one of the ways that if I was an occupying force from another planet, I would do exactly what's going on to us. I would do exactly this to weaken humanity. I would distract them. I would let them think that video games are more important than relationships. I would trick them into thinking that if you have the coolest shoes and some kind of bling, then that makes you superior over others. And so you're distinct and separate and unique and alone and lonely. And I would try and mess with people with distractions. I would make people think that what's going on, like I'm working with pro athletes, but I'm in awe of what they do. Listen, when you get near a pro in action, it is like nothing else. You think you're good at something, get near someone who really knows what they're doing. My son and I were training in jiu-jitsu and some other things. We get near a real fighter and wow, change your mind quick. So I'm in awe of what professional athletes can do. But I'm not going to spend my life studying athletes or a sport and ignore my family and ignore my health and ignore my business and ignore my dreams and to live vicariously through other people who are having the fun that I want to have. No, that's not my thing. I don't want to be rude, but we're distracted by stuff that's lesser than. We run past the treasures to get the trinkets. We've been tricked, I believe. So hopefully you can accept that you can be more. You've been distracted. You've been deluded. You've been deluded into thinking that there are limits that there really aren't. I'm not supposed to have made it. I came from that background. I still have trouble reading. I still have ADHD. I need assistance to help me. I don't open my own mail. Don't ask me how much I earn. I don't do a lot of normal people things, but it doesn't stop me from doing abnormal people things. It doesn't stop me from doing what's unique for me. My weaknesses became my strengths. I believe everything that's happened in your life before this night, before this moment, was there on purpose. I don't believe you're an accident. I don't believe that's an accident. You might say, but James, you don't know the horrible stuff that's happened to me. I've traveled and I've experienced about some horrible things happening to people. I'm not even going to get into some of the things. Well, I will say one thing, just so you know that it hasn't been all peaches and cream since then. 4 years ago, my perfect, beautiful wife passed away suddenly of a brain aneurysm. I had to survive that again. So I'm not saying everything gets rosy. So I don't want to be a bummer on you guys, but I'm just saying it's not rosy and you're not alone. We all have crap that's not cool, not fair, not reasonable. But I also believe that there's an all-knowing, all-powerful something. And of course, you can pick up I'm a theist, but I do believe. And so I believe that everything's been choreographed for a reason. Everything that's come before today, everything that's happened before today, I believe was there intentionally and strategically to prepare you today for the person you're called to be tomorrow. I believe that you are here for a reason. I believe you're here in this season for your reason. And I believe those reasons are becoming more and more clear as you can see causes and needs and opportunities and applications for your strength. And I'm going to encourage you to please stop stopping yourself, and you realize how unstoppable you are. It's not unreasonable to say, I can do this, or let's see, right? Let's see. I took up karaoke singing. My late wife dragged me out to karaoke sing 5 years ago, and I thought I'd never do that. Now you can't get me off the silly stage. I do this ridiculous, maybe you'd be offended. I don't mean to call it ridiculous if you're into it, but I'm into it. I'm an addict now. So I get up there and I make a fool of myself. These guys in Florida last weekend, they said, we'll go to karaoke with you if we can dare you to sing anything we demand. I'm like, bring it. And I just think you can have a lot more fun, be a lot more productive, and go for it. So I really sincerely believe you can be more. I believe you can do more. Do more. Like have that bucket list. Go crazy with it. I believe you can have more. If you serve greatly, you will deserve greatly, and then you can give more. I really believe that we can be the difference. The machinery that wants war, the machinery that wants discord and stress and tension and bureaucracy to stop. I believe those forces cannot fight loving acceptance, agreement, and service. When we just say, we're not going to buy into that and we're just going to make a positive difference, I believe we change the world that we touch. I'm sorry, I'm preaching now. You got me going, Bob. It's your fault. I blame you. I believe you can be more. And if you can accept that, you're going to start realizing that to be true. There's lies that came in to stop your voice many years ago. I'm encouraging you to call them what they are. They're lies. It's time for you to speak up and speak out. It's time for you to start sharing your truth, sharing your story, letting people know that you want to see a positive difference in the world and you're willing to do what it takes. I believe if you'll stand up for yourself, then you'll see a dramatic. I just want to do one other thing here because I just noticed the time. I apologize. I've been having a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And we're friends now. To make sure you join the NEWBI Nexus, and because if you join during this, is that right, Bob? During this or tonight or whatever, like now, immediately, no pressure. Now, if you do that, I don't do coaching anymore. I used to charge $500 an hour, and then I realized, why do I do this? It takes time. I offer products and services and breakthrough things that help people transform. In this movie deal, people can get in on that with Les Brown and I, and all kinds of cool things. And these are high-priced things, and I do a lot of things. I get paid $20,000 an hour for speaking. So I thought, why am I coaching at $500? So now I don't do coaching. I don't offer it for sale anymore. But if I did, it would probably be a couple thousand or something. I don't know what it would be. But I don't do it anymore, except for my business partners. So people who work with me closely, I coach them for free, and that's it. But I don't do coaching anymore. But what I've decided to do, and this is not a small deal at all. I'm scared doing this, but I promised Bob that I would give a full hour coaching session to everybody who joins. And so if you're interested in talking to me about your guru empire and what you can do with this life, this voice of yours, this message, how you can be an author, speaker, coach, consultant, trainer, how you can work with corporations or individuals, how you can travel the world first class and get spoiled rotten, get big fees, and do all kinds of cool stuff. If you want to do that, I'm making that available it's not a draw. It's not one person. It's everybody. I want to spend some time with you and see if I can help you ignite your career, because I have a commitment. I have a vision. I have a purpose to help the next generation of gurus. So I want to talk about those dimensions, but I also want to open it up to Q&A if there's anything. The next thing, Bob, I want to do is I want to talk about how much do authors make? What's the business model around author and speaker and coach and consultant? I want to talk about that at least before I wrap, but I want to answer any questions as well. So anything come in, sir?
We're a lot of smiley faces, a lot of thumbs. Sorry.
So are you going to be able to teach how to sell from the stage?
Okay, well, I guess people are wanting to know about selling from the stage and how that is done.
Excellent. Listen,
So-
if you can sell, you're set for life. If you can sell one-on-one, if you can sell over the phone, if you can sell from the stage, you're set for life. And stage sales is one of the most powerful skills to develop. And yes, I do teach it. It's called $1 Million Speaker. It's a 3-day intensive event. I'm also working on a project with Les Brown. The project we're working on, it goes farther than that. So you work with Les Brown and I for a week. And I think it's a $15,000 thing, and there's more did, but I know that because I know my cut, so I know I can do it for 10. Because I just give you out of mine. But anyone here wants to do that, I do that $1 Million Speaker, which is my 3-day, and it's a $3,000. The 5-day is with Les Brown, and we've included some other sexy things. And I think it's priced at like 15, but I'm offering it at 10. But you get Les Brown and I, and mastering selling from the stage. It's $1 million a year closing techniques from the stage. So yes, I can do that. I've been blessed. When I started 25 years ago, that's what I did. I started as a pitchman. I would present, and I would pitch, and I've presented for and sold seminars to. You ready for this? Raymond Aaron and Harvard. Launch Harvecker's business as far as the stage person. He probably doesn't even remember me. I did stage sales for Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins. This is 30 years ago. Now I've shared the stage with him as a fellow guru. How cool is that? So Bob Proctor, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield. That's a Chicken Soup for the Soul guys, for all these cool folks. So, and then I became famous for it. So I'm one of the top closers on the planet. I think it's safe to say. So yes, I can pass that on. But let me say this as far as stage sales, and maybe this will help you in all sales. Let me just say one quick little thing so everybody gets this. One little thing I want you to know. When you're selling from the stage, remember this. They will forget what you've said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so at the end of your presentation, if you're encouraging people to work with you, if they didn't enjoy the session, they're not going to say yes, because then they're buying more pain. They've got to feel euphoric. It's like, man, if I'm around this person, my life will be better. If I just get around their vibe, their emotions, their energy, if I just learn what they're saying, my life is transformed. I've already got value. Oh my gosh, I want more. So it's the feeling of, this has been amazing. I want more of this. And if you haven't created a euphoric emotion, the facts that you've presented may not be sufficient to make someone say, I want to do this more. I'm not saying it's only emotions, but do not underestimate. It's one of the biggest failings that people have. They underestimate the power of the emotional experience of your presentation. Because if it's euphoric, they're going to want more. They're going to sign up for more. So, and then you want to have a really good, captivating close, some kind of a call to action that's compelling, something that's very unique, something that's like, wow, I can get that. That's very special. It's very unique. And so those are a couple of tips. But the other thing I'll say in presentation skills, in general, but especially if you're trying to sell, is audience participation. You can't just talk for whatever period of time and then at the end hope they're with you. You need to be interactive. You've got to take people on a journey. It's like taking the kids through the zoo. They got to be holding onto the rope. You got to keep people close with you as you take them down the road of whatever you're presenting and ideas that you're forming for them. And you've got to help them across the threshold of making that informed decision in their own best interest. So it takes a close eye. You've got to really kind of grab the audience and take them with you step by step, and then a clear, compelling offer, and then an emotionally charged, clear, compelling offer. These things should serve you well. But make sure that there's lots of interaction. You cannot go more than 3 minutes without an interaction with an audience and hope to still have them. You will lose people in less than 3 minutes. And in my presentations, I'm interacting with an audience, demanding some kind of response, probably about once every minute. And that's why I have one of the highest closing rates in the world, because I interact with my audience, which is why you may have noticed I'm constantly asking Bob, any feedback, because I live on the feedback. And even though I'm not getting a ton of feedback from you, I'm so tuned into feedback. Hopefully I'm very interactive, even though we're not interacting. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So, yeah? Okay, good. And so, Bob, I wanted to talk about what is the pricing model of how much do authors make, how do these different disciplines make, and do that quickly. And I know that time is flying. Do I have time to do that, sir?
You know what?
They
For
don't.
most people, I'd say no, but it's you. So I'm absolutely, you got a green light. Go for it.
So off the top of the head, let me just say this. Authors are really nice people who don't make as much money as you think. If you are an author, but you don't know how to turn that book into money, see, a book doesn't make you the money, but is the golden key to the vault, which means once you have a book, if you know what you're doing, it opens every door or virtually every door. So being an author gives you credibility, a position. It gives you free media if you know how to work the media. I'd love to do some training on that as well. But it opens the gate to the money, but it is not the money. So the books are not in themselves the money, almost ever. Sometimes someone can figure out how to make money by them, but generally no. Speakers, they make so speakers are kind of like actors. Most speakers are broke. They're like the actors are all waiters. Not all, of course, but speakers, it's kind of the same. There's a small portion of us making all the money. And so when it comes to making it as a speaker, you're going to want to listen to people who are getting the results that you desire. You do not want to talk to the nice people who've read books about it. I'm not against those people. I'm just saying it's the people who are making the money, making the difference, doing the things, living the life you want to live. Those are the people you want to listen to. And so there's a few. As a speaker, if you want to go with what's normal, I suppose 100 to 150,000 is normal for those who are making a living. Those who aren't making a living aren't making it. They're not even making 10 grand. So you go from like 10 grand right to 100. And I'm sure there's some people in the middle, but the vast majority are either making it or not. Then, so that's speakers. For those who can sell from the stage, they could make up to $1 million a year. Selling from the stage is where the money is. Then where else is the money? So that's author, speaker, coaches are my favorite world-changing broke people. So coaches are wonderful, and it's the best return on investment of any kind of self-development. Coaching is the best way to transform your life. It's ongoing accountability coaching with a real coach. Well, that's great, but how much time do they spend talking to one person? You can't make that much money talking to one person at a time. Now, don't get me wrong, you could do okay, but most coaches I know are making between 30 and 70,000. Now, you start combining author who's also a speaker, who's also a coach. Now you're making money because the author sets up the speeches set up the coaching. The coaching could be group coaching. Then you have an online community. Then you have products and services. You start combining these things. That's when you have explosive growth. And so that's the secret. So I'm going to encourage you to write this down. Author, speaker, coach, consultant, trainer. And you want to package and you want to have an online community. When you've got all of your ducks in a row, and we help you craft at the Guru Builder, we help you craft your full guru empire, a blueprint, so that you're not just, poking around. You know your voice, you know your message, you know your resonant, you know your target market, you know what you're doing. And then life gets really, really easy and you just start pulling it together, and then things start taking off. And they'll go, I was going to say sideways, but that sounds negative. They'll go in directions you don't expect. So, many of the gurus I've worked with said, I planned on doing X, but I made twice as much money doing Y. And they're not complaining, but plan, it's hard to be in motion. So you have a plan, then you feel free to ditch it when a better idea comes up. Let the plot twist be your millions. And so you need a plan just to keep yourself in confident motion, but then you let the marketplace tell you, and good old luck or blessings from above to guide your hand, guide your movement. But having a game plan is golden. Having compounding competencies, so you're not just a speaker, not just a coach, not just an author. When you start bringing these together, that's golden. So I think my time has flown, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy to answer any questions you or the participants have.
Okay, well, I think you've asked enough times if there are questions. We actually got some this time in addition to all the love. And the one question here is, I don't feel like a guru. How will I know when I'm ready to be one?
Oh, I love that. Okay, you're ready. The problem with people who are thinking about being gurus is they often think they're all that in a bag of chips. So, someone told me there's a new one, all that in a box of Special K. I don't know if that makes it more insulting, but the fact that you have that humility, you're the right soul. So I encourage you to just say, look, if I'm willing to help people, then I'm a guru. Don't worry about that. I didn't know. I didn't have qualifications. I still don't have college or university. You got that? I'm a guest speaker. I'm a guest lecturer at colleges and universities international. People hire me, corporations hire me, universities want me. But when I was a kid, I couldn't pay them enough to let me in. And so I don't have credentials. Forget credentials. Forget it. Do you love to learn? Do you love to help? And do people seek your counsel? Stop arguing with it. That's the truth. You're a guru. Start doing it at another level. You've got a lot to learn. So keep the humility. That's right. That's good. But if you thought you were superior, I'd be worried. But you don't feel superior. You've got the heart of a real guru. And so your question tells me you're ready. Your question tells me you're already a guru. But you might be denying the bigger stages. You might be denying the paychecks because of that. And forgive me, I'll just call it a false humility, because it's real humility. But if you look at the Bible, forgive me for those of you who are not into the Bible, but if you look at the Bible, people are always telling God, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready. And he says, I know. It's the power is in me, not in you. Lighten up, show up, shut up, and let me do my thing. And so sometimes we've got to let forces beyond us work through us. And hopefully that wasn't too woo-woo for you. But I just keep showing up, and somehow it keeps working for people. And so they want to keep paying me and hiring me. And so don't worry about it. So you're not feeling like you're a guru. Tough. Go help people.
I like it.
Don't mind.
Yeah. I like it. All right, James, I got, yes, we are going into overtime, but if you're okay, I've got one more question for
I'll
you.
be quick.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's a more of a tactical question this time.
Okay, love it.
How do I best position myself as an expert?
Well, the book is the best positioning tool. I've got corporate gigs and multi-million-dollar contracts competing against people who have doctorates. But the corporations believe that someone who writes a book has more street smart results than the academic who just knows a lot about books in classrooms. And so being an author does change the game. And so author is one of those credibility things. Another thing for the masses, maybe not the corporations, but the masses, if you're on TV, woo, or if you travel, one of the things I try and get my gurus to do immediately is speak across borders, right? Canada, US, doesn't matter. They're now an international speaker. So international matters. Speaking at colleges, university is a big builder. Having a blog, something that you're putting information out there. Even if you're doing things for free, like speak at churches, community groups, and you can say, I've spoken at this group and this group and that group, and just get your voice out there. But seriously, nothing is more powerful than being published. Publish or perish, being published, even if you self-publish, you'll want to get yourself published. And so I highly encourage that. Or the best advice I have is talk to me about getting into the movie with Les and I. That's what I think you should do.
Okay, good. Nice. Well, James, this has been spectacular.
No, good.
It has been so fantastic having you on the show here. As I say, we didn't get too many questions, but the love, holy cow, the love. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, and you've blown me away with not only with being a guru, being verbal Aikido, being $1 million speaker, all of that great kind of stuff, and I know how busy you are, and I know. I've some of your exploits and speaking from the stage and yes, how many people you've helped, how much money you're making. So you've blown me away with your offer of a coaching session for everyone who joins Nexus. That's just amazing.
Yeah, it was a little scary. I'll tell everyone the truth. Bob said you want to do a giveaway, and I said sure, I'll do a coaching session. But I thought it was a raffle, like one person. But apparently, I agreed that everyone. So. Okay, I'll talk to my assistants and they'll figure it out. But I'm not backing off. I'll do it, and I'll give it my all. I really, I have the real heart of a real guru. Like you might like me or not like me or whatever, but I'm not kidding. I love helping people. I love watching lives transformed, and so that's a real offer. And I'm really gonna pour my heart into coaching everyone who joins. So yeah, heck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, and folks. This is, it sounds awesome when he says it, but I got to tell you that it's even more awesome to go through it as I have done. James is phenomenal. And now maybe he'll do his coaching to karaoke. Who knows? Combine it all and just really get it out there.
Yeah. Meet you at the karaoke bar. Then you get 3 hours, but it'll be a blurry 3 hours.
That sounds awesome too. But James, it really has been a wonderful. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you, sir.
and everybody, what we've got inside from James, in addition to this bonus now, it's it's gold. It's just gold. So get out there, get in, take it if nothing else. And I mean, we've had some spectacular offers from some amazing coaches and speakers and experts. But if you don't, if you're only going to do one, this has got to be it. So get in there, get it, take advantage of this. Holy cow! I can't believe it. Still can't believe it.
Well, I tell you what, Bob, I can't believe what you've put together here. It's if I was able to meet someone like you who's doing what you're doing, 20 years ago, my story would be 10 times or more bigger and more exciting. I mean, I'm blessed and I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong, I'm not whining, but you just make everyone's life so much easier as they're honing their skills, building their empires, and making a difference. So I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm quite happy to serve and support you and your community members. So thank you so much.
You honor me, and I really, really appreciate that. So okay, one last thank you.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of night 2 of the virtual summit, the NEWBI Nexus virtual summit. I've had a spectacular evening. I've just been amazed at the messages that our various speakers have come up with. It's been an incredible evening. I hope you felt so as well. Come on out, join the Nexus, get more from all of these speakers and all of the many, many speakers that we just simply didn't have time to introduce to you through this summit. So we got so many experts out there that have such good messages. And one of the reasons, by the way, that we have so many speakers and so many experts is that there's a lot of things for entrepreneurs and small business owners to know. But not only that, but quite often you may hear the same message from 2 people, and one of them you go, well, that was kind of interesting, and the other one has maybe used different examples, different way of phrasing things, and the light bulb goes on. You go, holy cow, I get it. So by having the different speakers and their different perspectives on the same issue, it's going to give you a much, much broader understanding and a much deeper insight into the topics that you're trying to learn and need to learn. So come on out, take advantage of our 30 free days and check it out. All right. Now, this is the end of day number 2. We got one more day ahead, and we have got another incredible batch of speakers, coaches, thought leaders, knowledge experts. We come on out tomorrow night again, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be hearing from Mike Warren and Angie Monroe, Martin Wales. We've got a couple of guys that I'm working with this weekend, Osiris and Adrian, talking about the Ultimate Business Expo, and Jim Feldman, who has got a very, very interesting story to tell as well. So we are not over by a long shot. Over for tonight, yes, but over in general, never. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on to the NEWBI Nexus Virtual Summit Day 2. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern is our start for Day 3 of the NEWBI Nexus Virtual Summit. Thanks, everybody, and have a spectacular day tomorrow.